It's gonna drive me crazy for the rest of my life that it's Wicked Part One and Wicked for Good.
I
So
can't. I just can't.
Yeah.
what's up, Fantasy? Welcome back to Oz and Not My Fantasy, the show about fantasy films and the lore that inspired them. I'm Cullen,
And I'm Hannah.
and I'm here live from Glinda's apartment to introduce our special guest, Oz fan, friend of the pod, Rob.
Hello. Thanks for having
Hello.
me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. This is a big time for the Oz community.
Yeah, my entire year has been taken up with being excited about this film, so it's eaten my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at work, we're all like, can't wait for Wicked to come out, like, Wicked Day. Yeah.
Yeah, so I live in a boat, so it's very small. And I've been like, I'm not getting merch, I'm not getting merch, and slowly the boat is getting more and more full of merch because I can't help myself.
And there's so much merch.
Oh, yeah. I missed out on the Dunkin' Donuts Munchkins canister they had here in the States. I mean,
Oh,
it was super cute and I just missed it. It must have just like sold out so fast. But my
I've
cousins
I've heard
got,
about that.
yeah, my cousins got one. I wanted it because I'm like, that'd be so cute to put like my sewing knickknacks in because it was like a
uh,
legit like tin, like a cookie canister basically. And I was like, dang it. So I missed out on that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I ended up getting one of the collectible cups from the theater. So,
oh,
and actually
I
my
debated that.
my cousin, her wife actually went to the theater, bought some cups, a popcorn canister, and a blanket because she's like, I don't know if stuff's gonna sell out. She's like, but I want to be prepared. So she went ahead to the theater like a couple days before, bought some stuff for like our group so that we were prepared. Um, yeah, but like
Right.
they had some stuff that was sold out. Like they did have like the actual like plastic cup that was sold out, like that came with like a straw or whatever,
Yeah.
but we got like the typical ones. So it worked out. But yeah, lots of fun stuff out there. So,
Yeah, and if you could see this, but I have Alpha and Glinda cake sprinkle toppings, which we used to make
oh
a
my
cake right
gosh,
before the show the other day.
amazing.
I got the Lego Glinda Alphabet bookends, which are
Ooh.
so cool.
Oh
That
my
was an
gosh.
early Christmas present.
Oh, I love that.
I got these special Christmas ornaments from M&S in the UK,
Marks and
and
Spencer.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, that was my excuse for early Christmas decorating this year. I'm like, I need the Wicked stuff out for before Wicked
Yes.
comes out. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wicked
absolutely.
Miss. Yeah.
Witness.
totally. Or
Uh,
Lurleen Miss in the books.
Lurleen Miss, yes. I got my copy here. I did not
Nice,
show up to the theater with my copy of the book like that guy did when I saw Aragon as a kid. 'Cause I remember thinking, that's weird.
amazing.
I'm 12, or I don't know, I'm probably younger than 12, but it's like still strange to me.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, so if you couldn't tell, we're talking about Wicked for Good, the 2025 film, major
For
Technicolor motion picture.
for us, it
Mm.
just came out 3 days ago, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Sunday today. So yeah, literally just came out.
Yeah,
Just saw it Friday.
yeah, I saw it at midnight. I'm still a little loopy, but
Yeah.
it was the way to do it.
And you also saw the stage musical this week.
I did 2 days ago,
Wow.
2 days before.
Wow. That's the way
So
to do it.
yeah, so one of my best friends in London, we went to see it right before part one, and then we're like, well, we need a refresher because part two has been, it's been so long since we've seen Act Two.
Yeah.
So we went again
Yep.
two
Yeah.
days before. So
That
yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
fresh in my head.
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah, I saw it Thursday night. Thursday night is when
Mhm.
at like 6 p.m. I was like, we're getting an early showing.
So you got out of work and immediately went to the theater.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I so tried to get an early showing. The second I tried to put the tickets in my cart, they disappeared, and then every ticket disappeared. So I ended up with midnight. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Thursday night, we ended up watching part one. So we watched the first one, and then Friday night went to go see it. So it worked out. We went to Chili's beforehand.
Did you get
Um,
did they have the,
the margaritas. And here's the
yeah.
thing, I just thought we're just
Hi,
going to
welcome to
Chili's.
Chili's. Yeah.
We're just going to Chili's, hopefully to run into that guy from Vine, but
Yeah.
also
Hmm.
because I was like, oh, it's right by the theater. No, I missed the text message that said we're going for the Wicked themed margs. And so it was a complete surprise to me on Friday night when they were like, yeah, we're going for the margaritas. Otherwise, we'd be going somewhere else. And I was like, no one told me. And then I immediately went, actually, there probably is text message proof that you told me that, but I forgot. And yep, that's exactly it. They definitely pulled the receipts on me and for good reason, for good.
For
For
good.
good. Yep.
Which one did you try?
So most of us, I think everyone got the Elva one except for our friend Tiana, and she
Mm.
had the better one. The green one was just a little too sour, and it could just been the way that the bartender's making a bunch of them, probably, so they're just mixing. So
Yeah.
it maybe wasn't like the best version of it, but the pink one was really good.
Was it sour apple,
I think so,
which
but it
is
wasn't
connected
appley.
to the Witch of the West in the James Franco Oz movie that I kept
All
being like, maybe
right.
we should talk about that. And then we just both had enough crises in our lives that we didn't have time to
To
talk
have
about
another
James
crises.
Franco,
Yeah.
Oz Very Powerful. Maybe someday when we feel crisis ready.
Absolutely. We could pair that with like Jupiter Ascending because I feel like for some reason those movies go together. Is it
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis? We should have a
Yeah.
Mila Kunis month. There we go.
Oh, yeah. And we film everything in front of like a very non-ostentatious wooden wall. That's like the one non-ostentatious wall in our yard. Yep.
Yeah,
Uh
absolutely.
Hmm.
So
yeah, yeah. So we're talking Wicked for Good. Now we asked this last year. Do you identify more as an Alphaba or a Glinda? It's been a year. It's been a regime.
it has been a regime here in the States. Yeah. I still identify with Alphaba. Um, that's my answer. I mean, I really, appreciate Glinda and I also appreciate, not saying I'm team is Madame Morrible, but so cunty. I love Rochelle Yeoh
Hmm.
Mm.
so much. Just literally every scene she was just like, "Oh, you're the worst, but you look so good doing it." Her oh
That
yeah.
robe when she was doing the tornado, like, oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the hair
Her
that was like
spell
part down.
casting night
Yeah.
robe.
Oh, it was so good. So, I'm not saying that I'm going to her side, but she looked cunty doing it. So, yeah.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
like the
I'm an
first
Elphaba.
film, no one has served like her turning in front of the monkeys. That's just like the moment.
Yeah.
Yes. Ugh. Yeah. What about you, Rob? Who do you identify with?
Um, Alphaba. Yeah, just is. People when they meet me think I'm more of like completely sweet and innocent and like a Disney gay, which I am. But I'm also like really, really pissed off at the world. And I just can't get behind the I mean, I love Glinda, but the cute little blonde girl who, helps the regime. I just can't support that right now. And I
Yeah.
like I'm like kind of witchy. I love her whole pre vibe and the book and the yeah.
I would love to live in this treehouse area.
Yes,
This would be
totally.
fun.
And also I'm a big animal person, so I couldn't let them be suppressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a rough movie for us Glindas out there.
The girls in the bubble.
I'm a bit of a double bubble was a nickname my dad gave me once. Uh
Wow.
and I was like, well, who put me in this bubble, father? But
Who put me in this bubble, father?
I was like, I slightly
That's on a
resented
t-shirt.
that nickname. But yeah, unfortunately, I do, as I said last time, I do identify with Alphaba because when I feel like something's wrong, I like have to say something about it. but I definitely, yeah, I like being popular. I try really hard.
I definitely want to hang with Glenda. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really
it'll
fun. Like it's like I feel like Marie Antoinette would be fun to hang out with. I don't know if I support all her fiscal policies, but
A great connection.
yeah.
Always bringing it back to Marie Antoinette. You
My
gotta.
my girl. So this movie based on a book, based on a musical, based on a book, based on a novel pushed by Sapphire. It comes from the 1995 book Wicked, Lifetime of the Wicked Witch of the West, which started the Shrekification of media, and then eventually we would get the musical in 2003, and then the adaptation of the Stephen Schwartz musical as a film after like 20 years of development hell. It's here in both parts. Directed by John Chu, written by Winnie Holzman and Dana Fox, produced by Universal and Mark Platt. Choreography by Christopher Scott from the Zombies franchise. It's okay. Let's talk about this cast from the press tour. You may know them from the press tour.
You may
Cynthia
know them
Erivo.
from Holding Fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the t-shirt.
Cynthia Erivo as Alphaba, Ariana Grande as Glinda, Scarlet Spears is young Glinda in this movie. Jonathan Bailey, Sexiest Man of the Year, as Fiero. Michelle Yeoh as Madame Jeff Goldblum, you may know him as Rachel Berry's dad, as the
Yep.
Wizard of Oz. Ethan Slater as Bach, Marissa Bode as Nessa Rose, Bowen Yang as Fanny, Bronwyn James as Shen Shen, Sharon D. Clark returns the voice of Dulcibert, D. Bradley Baker as the voice of Chistery, Coleman Domingo as the voice of the Carly Lion, Mark Safe from James Corden. And then Adam James and Alice Fern are Glinda's parents, and Bethany Weaver portrays Dorothy Gale. So far, the movie seems to be doing pretty well. It just came out, so we don't really have the stats yet. And it's getting more mixed critical reviews
Yeah.
than the first one, which to me ties into the fact that I think the second act of the musical is a bit of a plot mess, and I thought they were going to resolve. I was like, oh, they have like a whole nother hour. They can
Yeah.
fix a lot of these issues. And I was like, okay, we're not trying to do that. All
Yeah.
right. So at least that's how I felt. But there is there are a few key adaptational choices that I'm very grateful because like it'd be really bad if they didn't have those. Like some of the like the musical kind of forgets about the animals.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And this
big time.
movie this movie doesn't, and I'm like, that's like the bare minimum. Like we did not
The
do that.
bare minimum,
The
the
bare
Dulce bare minimum.
it's the Dulce bare minimum. It's like we had to have done that, and I'm very glad they remembered to do that.
I feel like Act Two also almost forgets to give Glinda a full arc. But she
Yeah.
gets to for good, but I don't feel we actually earn her getting to for good.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think the film did better work there with actually developing her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's something to be said with like they very much let every scene breathe. Like they're not rushing between scenes, but sometimes I'm like, maybe we could have rushed and added something or reordered some events. Because I think when we start to hit like the Wizard of Oz, like Dorothy timeline, I feel like we're really pulling at my logic. And it's Oz. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be like super logistical, logical, like I know we're in Oz, but I'm like, yeah, I don't know. We'll get there. It falls into the trap a lot of villain biopics, as I'm calling them now, do, where it's like they were evil for 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
the and
Exactly.
the we're gonna talk about a lot about the book though, as we did when we talked about part one. So we're gonna go through the plot of the movie and we're gonna do these book check-ins. And I'm gonna kind of like recap where we are in the book, though. It's pretty obviously pretty different. Now, I read the book last summer and I refresh myself a little bit before recording. And then I also read the book years ago in like high school, where I missed a lot of things. Now, Rob, you've read the book a few times, right?
Yeah. So I read it kind of around when it first came out. I was way too young for it, but I actually loved it. I know a lot of people like read it too young and are traumatized. I was obsessed. So that
Yeah.
again might be the alphabet thing. But yeah, I reread it at least once again in the middle of there. When the movie was about to come out, I read it again. And then after the film came out and I saw it, I read it again. So I read it
Wow.
I've read the entire series twice in the past year, so it's
Wow.
fairly
Yeah.
fresh. It's also a blur, but
Yeah, because he specifically was going for like a Dickens vibe, which I did like
Mhm.
Dickens as a high schooler, so I guess it makes sense that I liked it, but like that kind of like grand sweeping, we're gonna have a bajillion characters. I remember the name of the Wilderness Guide in the middle of the night
mm.
at my friend's 30th birthday party last night, like dancing kind of faded, and I was like, Oatsy.
Yeah,
Oatsy Megland. It just like came to me.
yeah,
Yeah. Hannah, what do you remember of the book from recapping it last time?
I remember that Madame Morrible is like a fish, and I
Yeah.
just kept thinking about that every time I saw Michelle Yeoh. Um, and then I remember that there was an orgy, and I
Yeah, they went
don't
to a
remember.
sex club. Yeah.
Uh-huh, yeah. I mean, those are like the things that stick out to me. But actually, now having seen the whole musical, because not that I didn't want to read the book ever before, but now I'm much more like, okay, I do want to read the book. Like I'm definitely like, that's going on the list for next year.
If you
Um,
if you do read the book, we might have to do just an episode of you giving me your thoughts because
yeah.
yeah,
I always say like it's a book you can't read alone. Like it's something you
interesting.
have to
Yeah,
like you can obviously and I do, but like it's like you almost need to like
decompress with
process
someone.
everything that's happening because I think people I like the book, but it's just like it is like weighty. It is like a book almost like a book you'd read in school,
Hmm.
complimentary. And so but like sometimes you need to like unpack everything it's saying and
Yeah,
exploring. Uh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's dense and kind of trying to figure out not only, I guess, not like what he means, but also like the meaning of it within the world of the book and the characters is
hmm.
very I lost my words there because it's late. But
But yeah, that
but it's
is
like got yeah, because
accurate.
it's morally dense, I guess, and it's also like
Yeah,
textually dense, and the characters are complicated and sometimes act in ways that you wouldn't expect like a a likable character act. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
the musical is a little more smoothed over in that sense, as it has to be, because you need to keep things a little more straightforward. But let's start with this movie, with Wicked for Good. We open, they're building the Yellow Brick Road. Mythical yaks are
They're
enslaved.
building it with slave labor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slave labor, Yellow Brick Road. And Alphaba shows up. She drops in. She's like, not on my watch. And frees the yaks, bullies the guards, whips them with their whips, throws paint on them, and they deserve it. And this was in, they said Madame Morrible, because I've only seen the movie once so far. I'll probably see it at least once more in theaters. But Madame
Yeah,
Morrible
same.
says it's been 12 tide turns,
Hmm.
which is that someone said it was 4 years.
Mm,
But
okay.
I first I was like, wait,
12 months?
12
That
months?
is that like, yeah, I was like,
A
I'm thinking of
year?
like, yeah, I don't know. Uh, but
I
if
think
it's
this
four
may come from
years,
the
maybe.
stage show being very not clear on how much time passed. And I
Yeah.
think John Chu said it was years, but then maybe to keep it true to the stage show, he keeps that kind of like non clarity about it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I would hope years because it just seems wrong for them to go right from college to like The Wizard of Oz. I hate that. So I'm like, it's been 12 years or it's been, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
They look older. I mean, Glinda probably had to graduate.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Post grad. She gives post grad for sure.
Yeah, Fiyero had to go
Elle
to like
Woods.
military school. Yeah, Elwoods.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm like, what was Fiyero riding off to at the end of Wicked Part One then? I
Mm.
guess to the Emerald City. All right. And we get our opening number expanded from the stage show. Every day more wicked. And we see like all the propaganda Morrible is spewing out, literally like raining down about like there's an evil witch, she's scary. She's hiding out in the woods. She's gonna just expose the wizard from her little Polly Pocket Dreamcore treehouse. Um, Glinda is declared the good. Everyone loves her. She's got Epiphany and Shen Shen doing her schedule. She's dating Fiyero, who's like a guard. He's part of the Gale Force. And now there's verses about how they like believe in Glinda and her magic. and she's gonna prevail and make the story end the way it should. And there's like banners like "We love Glinda, we hate the Wicked Witch." I okay, well, I have many thoughts. First is I feel like the mixing in my theater was strange because I mean we do know Ariana Grande has never met a consonant in her life, but
Yeah.
like when she sings, but like not just her, I feel like I couldn't understand the words of a lot of people when they were singing, and
Mm.
a lot of these are songs that I know the words to already. Uh, but like when I listen to the soundtrack or the cast album, I'm like, yep, it all sounds very clear. So I'm like, is it just the mixing in the theater?
It might have
Yeah.
been because I had no problem where I was. I saw it like an IMAX and it
Yeah.
was yeah, it
I
was
should have
clear.
sprung for IMAX.
I had some issues with Glinda's later number, the girl in the bubble one with her pronunciation. I think some of the
Mm.
sound mixing was a little weird in like big group numbers, like this one specifically. And I actually kind of felt like that about the first movie. Or my hearing and my cognitive perceptions are being delayed by getting older. That's also possible. But I also think that in
Mm.
general, there is a trend to sound mixing that is not as crisp as perhaps it used to be. I don't know what that is, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, there's a similar problem when you see it live right now. Like I know the lyrics,
oh,
but often
yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, no, I would not know a single thing going on now if I didn't know the show inside and out.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Oh.
that's interesting. If like now they kind of they're like, yeah, we don't really have to enunciate that much. Everyone who's here has probably already seen the show.
Yeah, so I do think though it is interesting that as much as I actually do really like this intro number, it covers a lot of the same ground as like Thank Goodness does, which is the intro number in the stage play.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting choice. Interesting choices were made. I don't know if I would say it's a good or a bad choice. Uh, but it does seem like okay, it's we're covering double ground here. Um, but we get that Morrible hates Shen Shen and Fanny Epiphany. She hates Glinda too, basically.
Yeah.
She's like, here's a bubble, here's a wand. You can't do any real magic, but you need people to believe it.
But we can sell the idea. Yeah, and I think Morble also later says that she's literally like the press secretary for the wizard. And
Yeah,
I'm like, oh boy.
yeah, yeah, she is. Yes.
yeah. No wonder she's so mean. And
I mean, that's the weird thing because it's suddenly like I forget if this is in the film or just on the stage show, but she is literally like announced as his new press secretary, and it's like,
Right.
do you
Yeah.
not work at the school anymore? Did that just happen in the last 5 minutes? What's going on?
Right.
yeah, Morrible, I'm like, she seems to be like the real power behind the throne.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many jobs does this woman have? Press secretary, professor, wedding officiant.
Mm.
Like the economy in Oz is brutal. I saw that someone else posted that joke. I don't know whose joke I'm stealing, but I was like, it's true. Well, also like it does sometimes like Glinda's exact role as Good Witch. At least I think in the movie it slightly feels a little more clear that it's like this is like a job.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
I love that she fills out like paperwork. Like she has to like approve things. I'm
yeah.
like, what is she approving? I'm like,
Galas giving close to the did you say the less
Mm.
fortunate or the temporarily fortunate or there's a joke there
temporarily
that
less fortunate, I think.
yeah. And she can't fly. She just got the bubble, which she's
Yeah.
obsessulated. She's having so much fun with it, which I would too. Double bubble. But she's like so
I
I'm
did that
like
like that line about the wizard wants you to fly as well. Like it
Wants you to
yeah.
can't
be
just have alphabet in the
airborne.
sky. Yeah, that was really
Yeah,
good.
because then
Yeah.
people can see the bubble. But there's so much to unpack, so much gender about like performance of like femininity and goodness is that even in how she flies, it has to be like this very like slow moving, like, hi, I'm here. Like she could not race Alphaba in that
No.
bubble, you
And it's
know?
also inherently delicate because it's a bubble that can pop,
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
also like there's no protection. Like that's the thing is she's not protected by the bubble or anything. Like it's literally just because Morble can pop it from the outside. So
Yeah.
it's like it is just delicate femininity floating through the air.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I guess she's just been going to different charity functions by train, you know,
Yeah.
through the
Because there's a
last four
pink
Her
years or
train.
whatever.
her
Yeah.
Barbie dream train.
Her Barbie
Yeah,
dream.
Barbie Dream Train. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a scene, I think, with her and like the Lollipop Guild or something that was in the trailers that was cut where she's in like
Oh,
that
interesting.
green and pink fluffy dress. Um, I wonder if I'm still holding out for the extended editions. This is Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings for theater kids. Yeah, so she's like, you got to be airborne. Flashback to her childhood birthday party, where she got everything she wanted, especially this wand. And they're like, "Oh, can you do real magic?" And she can't seem to, but people see a rainbow.
And they're like,
Uh,
"Oh, you did that." She's like, "Yeah." And
She
they're like,
says,
"Oh my
"I
God, you're so
love,
amazing."
you know, I love rainbows," which is so funny because it's like she doesn't lie directly, but she kind
Mm.
Yes.
of like lies implicitly, which I'm like, that's so Glinda. Uh,
And it also like you get the impression that these kids already think she's so amazing, whether or not they're faking it
yeah,
or they
Mm.
have been sort of brainwashed to think that because her parents are powerful. So then their parents are like, you
yeah,
have to be really nice to Glinda. Like there's a facade that she's already in.
yeah.
It's really sad.
This beautiful birthday party with like their I love though that even though they're rich, they still have the old-timey paper hats like from
Yeah.
newspapers.
Yeah.
And like her big birthday. It was like just the aesthetics of this movie blend the kind of unique fantasy world of Oz so well, and but her mom has this line because she's like, "Oh, I want to be magic for real." And her mom says, "Well, Glinda, everyone loves you.
That's all you need.
That's all you
Mm.
need." And I'm like, it's both like kind of crazy. It's like both bad and good advice at the same time because it's like it obviously sets Glinda up to be like, okay, I just need everyone to love me and everything will be okay. And I'm like, wow, I
To be
feel called out.
popular.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because that's how I literally walk around. I'm like, I need everyone to love me. But also, it's like at the end of the spoilers for this movie, at the end of the day, her being loved by everyone is what allows her to like be good and make an impact.
Yeah, because it at first it's like, oh, it's just a way that you're able to participate in this machine to manipulate people, but she's able to turn it on its head and be like, actually, no, this actually does give me power to do
Yeah.
good.
And that she got the power like if she had run off with Alphaba at the end of the first movie, she would not have that same social clout that she does to make the change,
Hmm.
which is just kind of part of like the I think it's funny, but like the realism of Wicked as a story is there is like a good amount of like things work out that way and it doesn't feel like morally super comfy, but that's often how reality is.
Yeah, the thing about how Elphaba is right, but she also it can't be her because
Yeah.
her
Hmm.
image is just wrong. She doesn't know how to convey her emotions in a way that are palatable that is palatable to most people.
Yeah, this was actually the question that came up where someone in the group was like, I don't understand, like, I wanted Elphaba to like be the one to like save Oz. And I was like, she did,
Yeah.
but she did it through Glinda. And I was like, and that had to happen, but she still did. They both did together, So it's like she doesn't get to be the figurehead of it.
Yeah.
Not that she would really want to be anyway, but like,
It's like she did
yeah,
want to be loved, but like she just kind of accepted that she couldn't in that same
yeah,
way. And it's like this is also a lot about the politics of like ugliness and like pretty privilege. But like people will talk
yes.
about pretty privilege because it's kind of fun, but like the ugliness and like how people like because she is green, so she is ugly, like no matter what she does, people will always assume like the worst intentions. And because Glinda is
Yeah.
beautiful, like no matter what she does, people will always assume the best intentions. And that's and Oz was so real for that, because that's how it is in real life, unfortunately. That's how people treat each other.
Yeah.
Uh
On that note, I'm gonna shout out Olurnati, so by Olay. So she's a video essayist on YouTube. She's got like a bunch of different channels, but on her specifically her Olurnati channel, she did a video just a couple months ago about it's called If Pretty is a Privilege, Ugly is a
Ooh,
Curse.
I started
It
watching
is
that video. I didn't
it
finish it, but I
is
was like, this is
so
interesting. Yeah.
good. It is a 2 hour video, but I listened to it in chunks, but it was very good. And she also has like a lot of really good resources that talk about like the basically what you're saying, the politics of being pretty versus being not conventionally attractive. Very interesting. So yeah, this movie definitely plays with that. So if you want some extra content on that, definitely check her out. Also check out all of her channels. Her content is amazing. And also if you're just looking for the video, the picture on the thumbnail is
Lena Dunham.
yes, Lena Dunham.
Yeah.
So there
Hmm.
you go. She does kind of use Lena Dunham as like a an example in media, and the fact like Lena Dunham is not liked and often conceived as not likable because she often does not fit stereotypically pretty standards. Um, so very interesting.
Yeah. So meanwhile, the wizard, he's going a little unhinged. I think he's psychically falling apart. He's making his little trains.
It's
Uh
very
Yeah.
Walt Disney in the later years,
yeah,
just
so
like focusing on the
Yes.
model train.
I almost said demented Walt Disney, but I'm like, honestly, maybe just
Walt
like
Disney.
remove the demented. Like I
Walt
think
We don't
just
need
Disney.
the descriptor. Yeah.
yeah. Like this is he Emerald City is what he wanted Epcot to be. Uh Wild. So yeah, he's loving trains. They're finishing the Yellow Brick Road, and they're doing a grand opening ceremony, which is where we get, thank goodness, we get the surprise to Fiero announcement of Glinda and Fiero's engagement.
So what I loved so much about that, having just rewatched part one, is how Glinda tells Elphaba, "Oh, we're getting engaged." He doesn't know
She
it
doesn't know
yet,
it yet.
and then she
Yep.
literally in Act Two, she tells them they're
Yep.
getting engaged.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, we thought we'd be surprised, the wizard and I." And it's like, "Ooh, using your best friend's
Mm,
song like that." Ooh.
Yeah.
mm,
Uh And they also fight about, he's like, how do you listen to people talking about Alphaba like being meltable and like that she's terrible? And she's like, no, I hate hearing about this. But like, that's her choice. She left. She doesn't want to be found. And who could resist this? Like, yeah, it's great. And because he's like, let's just run away. She's like, no. He's like, yeah, you can't resist this. Alphaba could. So he's pissed at her. But he says, if it'll make you happy, I'll marry you.
Yeah.
mm.
And he in this conversation is kind of already choosing Elphaba over her. And like Glinda is so just like focused on this sort of, bubble that she's in that she
Yeah.
can't see that like clearly something has happened. There's some tension there with Fiero and the idea of Elphaba, let alone actual Elphaba. So,
Yeah, because she's like, it'll make you happy too, right?
he's
Right? So
like,
it's like she sees the cracks, but she like
yes,
won't
she's
accept
ignoring
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bliss.
Mm.
And we get there's a kind of a sort of cost. There's a couple of things get lost, where, she's kind of like, wait, how did I get here? I asked myself, how did I get here? And Alphaba does some classic skywriting to be like, hey, the wizard lies. And Morable's like, let me just change that up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oz must die. And she's like, she wants to kill
But,
us.
but like also the thing is that they're they're trying to hunt her down supposedly. But what is I mean, the end game is to like capture her and then, use her for her powers. But like Morable has weather powers. Why could she not just create a cyclone there and trap her and take her to the Emerald City? Now, of course, then the movie's over. But I was also like, but then that's when later on she's like, "Oh, I'm the press secretary." Was like, "Oh, she's like, I'm still building the narrative before I can even capture Alphaba." Like,
Yeah.
because before
Mm.
that, she's just printing flyers. It's like, oh, no, people just saw Elphaba in the sky, and before they could really understand what she wrote, I was able to turn it and be like, see, I have proof. So it's like that makes sense. So I
Yeah.
had to think about it, but I'm like, you just take her down right now. It's like
But I think that
we got to do
making a
that press
tornado
secretary.
took a lot of work too.
I mean, yeah, it
That's like a
was
10th level
Mm.
spell. Yeah.
so yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Morrible loves shouting things to panicked crowds about
Yes,
the
she
it being the
does.
witch's fault,
Mm.
and it pisses me off. I'd be
Mm.
Yeah.
like, shut up.
If they had Twitter in Oz, oh my
Oh
God.
no, it should be all over that.
The
Elon,
conspiracy theories would be off the wall.
yeah,
Yep.
it's Candace Owens level.
Yeah.
It's our own press secretary level. There's also it's also funny because like their whole thing is okay, Glinda's magic will save us, but like whenever there's a crisis, Glinda's always just kind of there, like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like because she can't do anything.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
And no one notices. Also, the Munchkin Landers, like they just love a public event. They love
Yeah.
like we're
They
gonna
love
do,
the gathering.
yeah, we're gonna gather in the town square. We're gonna do an
Waving
event.
flowers.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's like a Hallmark small town. They're like, what's the event? Opening the Yellow Brick Road. All right.
Burning a witch in effigy.
Burning.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's being chased by the guards and the monkeys. She's hurt by hearing Fiyero. Elphaba's hurt when she hears Fiyero say like, "Out, wicked witch." She's like, "Even you." Uh, and she's trying to rally the animals because they're fleeing underneath the Yellow Brick Road. Uh, and she runs into Dulcie Bear.
Mm.
Uh, and she sings the song. She misses her bear hugs, which oh cute. But she sings the song "No Place Like Home." Which is an original song for the movie, was not from the stage play. But I really like the repurposing of the meaning of "No Place Like Home" and like as a like an anthem of like, well, this is my home. Like I don't want to, even though Oz is like devolving,
I
she's
mean,
like, it's my home.
not to be dramatic, but I kind of feel like it's going to become an anthem of people who are having that question of, okay, do I escape to Canada or do I stay in the States and stand
Mm.
up for what is right? And people are going to be saying, well, there's no place like home.
Yeah,
Alphaba said so, because like I couldn't help but draw those comparisons because obviously the timing of this movie coming out, the very, intense comparison between like their version of the Gestapo and ours.
yeah,
It's like I could not help but make those comparisons. And I'm like, I it's like now it's going to be sort of like a timeless anthem for like, okay, well, shit's bad. Do I stay because it's my home and it's worth fighting for, or do I need to leave? People have it,
yeah,
and there's no right answer. But
yeah,
if you are on the side of I'm gonna stay, that's your anthem, right?
yeah,
Like, having already fled to the UK, it was also very much in my head.
Yeah,
I fled the second Trump was elected the first time, pretty much.
yeah,
But and also Jewish, so it was always ingrained in me from childhood that if things get bad, go. Just get
yeah,
out when you can. So my
yes,
partner was able to do
exactly.
a PhD here, so we moved to the UK.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that like I love the scene because it's like I'm on both sides. Like
yeah.
I
Yeah,
Like,
get
totally.
both sides, and that's why I like the song is that it's about hope, not being like you guys are wrong. It's about like
yeah,
no, there's hope. Like it's trying to just instill hope in those who are choosing to stay. And so it's
yeah,
like I think it's a great I like what you said also is like it's also the clever pull from The Wizard of Oz and using that statement that we all know,
yeah,
repurposing
And
it.
there's a recurring thing of like Alphabet being a Dorothy parallel, like this
Yeah.
yeah,
version, the world's version of Dorothy. In fact, yeah, in the Wicked book, at some point she sings a song that's very much implied to be over the rainbow.
yeah,
Mm,
Because yeah,
yeah.
and also I liked that this song also makes it an actual tragedy that she leaves Oz. I feel in the
yeah,
stage show there's just kind of this ambivalence. Everyone in Oz is just kind of shitty to her. You don't really see like a
Yeah.
love for the land. So I
yeah,
like that there's loss beyond Glinda. It's also like that this this that this mission she was on and she actually achieved, she can't actually be there to,
Yeah.
enjoy.
And the song is also to not to draw so many parallels to it being about America, but like she's like, it's just land, but it's also an idea of a
Yeah.
better place. Say what you will about the complex history. We have a very complex history on this continent, but that's one of the pillars of the American dream, right? Is like
Yeah.
this place is an idea to have a better life, to be a community. Like that's supposedly one of our values.
And
And so, like,
Oz as like the Americana fantasy, because almost all
yes,
the other big fantasies are like UK or Europe. So it's like we got
exactly.
Oz.
And they filmed this in
Exactly.
the UK.
Yeah, and they filmed it in the UK. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, insulting.
Traitors.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like I think I really love the scene. I think I agree with like the repurposing of that statement. I do have to say I think musically it stands out as like this is definitely new. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
to me it doesn't feel like anything else in the show, which isn't necessarily bad, but it doesn't blend, I'll say. So I feel neutral
Yeah.
about that, I guess.
I feel like overall Stephen Schwartz's best songwriting days might have been in the past, especially given the Queen of Versailles reviews.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, it does definitely stand out.
And so does the other one, which we'll get to.
Yeah. Uh, and that I like that like you see that the animals are like families and like just kind of like refugees trying to so
Yes.
like you get why they're trying to leave. Um and the monkeys are like, wow, she's so real for this. But that fucking cowardly lion, maybe he could have been played by James Corden because
Maybe he should have been.
the instant and he's like, I'm so scared. She took me from my only home. I see your face. And she's like, you were in a cage. But like
Yeah.
it's
How about the guy who like kidnapped you? Come on.
Yeah,
yeah.
you don't remember him?
But in Oz, the moment someone is disproving of her, everyone's like, yep, yeah, okay, yeah, like we will not listen to what she has to say.
And Dulcie Bear leaving was also very hard. Like
Yeah,
that like her mom basically
yeah,
is doesn't even believe in her mission. But
yeah,
again, it's not, but she's like, I know you're gonna keep fighting. So she's not like not disappointed in Alphaba or anything. It's just like Dulcie Bear is like, I cannot stay, but I know you're gonna stay and keep fighting.
hmm
Like it's yeah, that's a little tough scene there.
so let's do our first book check-in from there. So where we left off in the book is that Alphaba and Glinda part in the Emerald City. They kiss. Alphaba goes off into the crowd. Alphaba goes off into the crowd to become a terrorist in the Emerald City. She's part of like a political terrorist network. Fiero is there on business because he was a child husband to a child bride. So he has a wife and three kids back home, but he does business for his tribe, the Arjiki tribe in the Emerald City. There's a lot of interest in like the reservoirs in the Vincus, which is his where he lives. Um, he sees Alphaba because he's in the Church of Saint Glinda, trying to determine like he's interested if the art looks at all like Glinda from school. And he runs into Alphaba and they develop an affair. She lives in this secret little apartment with her cat. And he shows up, he like watches her like her rituals, the fact that she bathes with oil instead of water because water hurts her. And they develop, yeah, a romantic affair. Fiyero starts to be more aware of things going on in Oz. Like he's in a coffee shop and he sees like a prison yard with a family of animals and quadlings and children, and he sees some people be executed. And he's like, ooh, yeah, Oz is kind of bad. Maybe there's a reason Alphaba's a terrorist. Uh, at one point, he runs into Glinda, who is married to Sir Chuffrey. Elphaba is disappointed because she thought Glinda could do better and marry at least like a duke or a baronet, not just or no, he's just a baronet. She's like, Glinda could do better. Um, but she's like a real housewife right now. She's like a
Mhm.
society gal. she hangs out with their friend Crope, who's one of the gay friends from college, and he's like her gay side clique. He's the Bo and Yang of this Glinda.
Mm.
And yeah, so they just kind of like Fiora's like, "Oh, nice to see you," but they're like school acquaintances. They're not like besties. But I think it's interesting that Alphaba is like, "Oh, Glinda could do better."
Mm.
She is trying to assassinate Madame Morrible on Lurleen Miss, which is their equivalent of Christmas, a pagan holiday appropriated by the monotheistic religion. Um, but she fails because some kids get in the way of the path of fire, and so she can't assassinate Morrible without killing these kids, and she won't do it. That night, Fiero is at her place, and the Gale Force, which is the police, show up and murder him. And Alphaba goes into shock. She shows up at the cloister of St. Glinda and is basically comatose. She's cared for by Yackle, who's this crone who was the witch who gave Alphaba's nanny the flowers or the potion that they gave to her mom when she was pregnant with Nessa. And she also gave out the tickets at the sex club that Bach and friends went to. So
Wow.
this crone be showing up. Now she's at the convent.
This
Uh
this crone really gets around. She's
yeah.
got
Yeah.
she's got some gigs.
She's got multiple gigs. She's got none.
She's
She's
a
got
scalper.
yeah.
I will
Uh
say there are major revelations in book three about her, but I will not spoil. But
Oh, okay,
yeah,
oh,
fun.
there's a twist.
Oh.
the twist. So while she's in the convent, Alphaba just kind of like goes like mentally blank. She just kind of like works, prays, ora et labora, eat, pray, work, as Saint Benedict said. Uh, and she gives birth to a kid she doesn't really give a shit about. But so her and Fiero have a son named Lear. And she's kind of stirred to awareness when their friend Tibbet shows up in the hospital ward because he's dying of fantasy AIDS because he fucked that tiger in that sex club ritual. And she's like, "Wait, Rent? No, wait, different musical." But that's kind of like what stirs her into being like, "Okay, wait, I'm a person." So she wants to seek reparations. So the nuns they're called Monts in this universe. But she's kind of goes out, she's sent out of the city with Otzi, who's this Oregon Trail type person, and she's gonna go out into the Vinkus, to try and find Fiero's family and ask for forgiveness. So she leaves with Lear, and she's in her like nun robes, so we get like her costume kind of forming. And that's kind of like her time. That's her Emerald City era, which is about 7 years. So that's what everyone's up to. Back to the movie. Back in Munchkinland, Bach is essentially being kept prisoner in Munchkinland by Nessa, who's very grateful that he stayed with her through all the times of trial with her father's death and her being governor. He's like, "Wow, I'd love to. Now that you seem good, I'm gonna dip." And she's like, "Hmm."
Yeah, because
Uh,
at that point, it doesn't he really feel like he's imprisoned, or is that like the second?
The second. So like right
Yeah, so
now,
this time he's like he feels obligated to stay, and now
hmm
he's like, I kind of want to
Mm.
leave, you know?
and
Yeah.
there's like a law being going that the other governors are signing that prohibits animals from traveling without permit. And he's like, obviously, Nessa, you can't sign that. And she's like, well, if I don't, people will say just like my sister. Nessa is
Mm.
always blaming somebody else.
Yeah. But I
Um,
mean, politically, that is correct. That like she does also have to consider that like if she's going to be the governor,
Yeah,
like but then it's like, well, does she have to be the governor or like could she give up her position? So is she going to choose to do that just so she can stay in power,
yeah.
which,
mm.
politicians be doing things like that sometimes.
And so then he goes to leave, and then she's like, actually, I'm going to immediately put in the fascist law. And I'm gonna add that Munchkins, the indigenous
Mm.
population, the local populace, cannot leave without permit, and they're being
Yeah,
forced off trains by the Emerald City Guards. Yeah.
because they're not munchkins like Elphaba and her sister and stuff like they're not
Yeah.
munchkin folk. they're whatever else type of humanoid, right? So like are are they literally just like colonizer governor governors?
That's
Like
a little nebulous in this Oz. In the book,
okay.
Mm,
they're from the eminent Throp family, which is like the ancestral leaders of Munchkinland. And
Okay.
so I think when you're in that family, you're taller.
Okay.
But there's even some lines about Nessa because like she never grew up in Munchkinland and she may even be part Quadling that like she felt
right.
like a foreign influence, like a foreign
Mm,
dictator, despite in the book, which we'll get, she was kind of like the leader of a populist uprising. Um, yeah, here it's a little more like, ah, we don't have time to get into all of that, which fair.
okay. Yeah, fair.
Uh, but yeah, she signs this law, and now Bach is trapped basically as her indentured servant, and she's like, "We're friends," and he's like, "I hate you."
Yeah.
And
He's very cold to her.
yeah,
Yeah.
cold as tin.
Mm.
And Alpha Bush shows up, and Nessa is like, "Fuck you! You didn't show up for the funeral." I mean, fair, but she's like, "You fly around helping everyone, but you won't help me." And she's like, "You never wanted my help." She's like, "Well, I want it now."
Like, okay.
Mm.
Uh, and so she's like, "Yeah, what I really want is to feel happy." Uh, like that night at the Ozdust. Like I had that date, and I want to feel like we did in school. She wants to go back. Um, so Nessa tries, or Elphaba tries with the Grimoire, and the silver shoes get suspiciously not quite copyrightable Ruby,
Mhm.
and she floats, which is different in the stage musical. They have her walk,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but they had worked on like why does she need to walk? Maybe give her something, so it's like she feels like she could fly.
They also cut the lyric where she sings about her hideous chair with wheels, which, some people in wheelchairs have had issues with since the show opened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so she's floating. Bach walks in and is like, "You did this to make her happy?" First, he's scared of Alphaba, and Alphaba's like, "Bach, it's like me. Like, we were friends." And then, but she's like, "Oh, you did this to make her happy?" And to me, I think he's like, "That's fucked up because she sucks. Don't make her happy."
Right.
That's how I
Yeah.
read that line. Like, that he was already pissed in the moment. It's
Interesting.
like, you want her to be happy?
That was a really interesting
Interesting.
line reading, actually, because like, yeah, that
Yeah.
element isn't really there on stage, where
No.
that also is a thing. Like, oh, if she's aligned with her and helping her, she's definitely that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I read it as like he was sort of believing like, oh, maybe Alpha's not that bad. But I like your
Hmm.
takes better,
Yeah.
that it's like he's having that realization that like, okay, she's not all bad, but she's because she's making her sister happy, but I hate her sister. So
Yeah.
and
Or,
and not just I hate her sister's bad.
yeah. And
Nessa
like,
did something
Yeah.
really bad.
And
Like,
is Bach also maybe surprised because Alphaba was such a radical that it's like, oh, you have no idea that like she's stripping the Munchkins of their rights.
and that she's also signing the law to say that animals can't go
Yeah.
anywhere. So like
Yeah.
he's like, wait, what do you mean you're aligning with your sister? She's literally doing the thing that you're trying to fight against. But
Yeah.
now she's doing it even worse because she's extending that to other people, other populations. Like,
So it's like
yeah.
maybe you're lying too. Maybe you're also full of shit, kind of thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's a way better reading. Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, and he's like, well, as much as this movie is maybe a little more sympathetic than the stage play, I still suck. And I
Hmm.
really want to go and express, my feelings to Glinda. You know, she
Yeah.
definitely would pick me over someone who
Hmm.
looks like Jonathan Bailey. Yeah,
Well, if
like,
they hadn't, People magazine hadn't put out the poll yet,
oh, he didn't
so
know.
he
He didn't
didn't
know.
know.
True.
It's like, oh, not just Glinda thinks he's hot, literally the world's sexiest man.
Literally, you
Oh,
thought he was
Yeah.
hot in the last movie, Bach.
yeah. Fuck, come
Yeah,
on.
like
Like, he's
you were
hot.
practically falling on
Yeah.
your knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I gotta express how I feel to her. And I feel like Alpha was like, oh, this fucking situationship is dragged on. Uh,
Yeah.
And she's
Well,
like,
because also, doesn't Nessa kind of get the impression when like Elphaba and um Glinda go to the Emerald City? Because like Bach is like, oh, Glinda, like she goes away, like she like
clocks it. Yeah.
leaves. And so
Hmm.
then that means afterwards, like
It,
she knows this.
she just wants to ignore it.
Yeah.
Because
God.
that's Oz is all about like shams and like fake
Yeah.
facades, you know.
Conceal, don't feel. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry,
Hmm.
wrong Idina Menzel musical.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is based on that whole thing of like you can just go to this magic man and he'll give you your heart's desire. So it's all kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah, you just hope for something and then you get what you want, but you don't because it's all fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's like, "Ah, okay, back on the Glinda shit. All right, well, you'll lose your heart to me even if I have to use magic." And she starts reading the book, and Alphaba's like, you have no idea what you're doing. And she starts shrinking his heart.
Yeah, she
And
says she's like, you're pronouncing all the words wrong. And it's like,
yeah. So that Alphaba's like, let me fix this. And we see Tin flying off the tea set and everything as she sings, as Nessa sings Wicked Witch of the East. Just me and the girl in the mirror, like alone, loveless, the Wicked Witch of the East. And we will get into how little effort this Wicked has put into making her Wicked Witch of the West. They
yes.
say it, and I'm like, what about her as West? Uh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Show me this Zillow listing and I will tell you if it's in the west of Oz.
yeah.
Okay.
And but she's like, yeah, he'll be okay. I have to go to the Emerald City. And she's like, you're going after Fiero. I need you here. And she's like, Nessa, I tried to help you and it was not enough and it will never be enough.
And it's so interesting that Nessa assumes that Elphaba is just going after Fiero because she knows that Elphaba has a thing for Fiero
Yeah.
because Nessa can't see anything other than like romantic connections with men, especially because of what she's going through with Bach. But that
Yeah.
like it's like she does not see value in what Elphaba is doing at all.
No.
And
Hmm.
that's crazy.
Well, her father was always just like, you're beautiful. And so everything was based in
Right.
that.
Exactly.
And yeah. Uh it's just yeah. So then he shows up as the Tin Man and is like, what did you do to me? I'm a Tin Man. And she's like, it wasn't me, it was Alphaba. And
I will say I do have one thing about that.
yes, yeah.
On stage, it just seems like she's being a bitch. At
Yeah.
least here, she's like a defenseless woman in a wheelchair with no magic, with like a terrifying psychopath coming at her with an axe. So
Yes.
I
Yes,
kind
because
of
That's
get, not
they
me.
highlight the axe. They literally zoom in on it, and it's like, and he like grips it, like I think he raises it at her, right?
yeah. So
So it's like,
it's very different because yeah, in the stage play, she's
yes,
just like, it was Alphaba, and you're like, oh, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
she's a lot more like you're like, okay, I might say that too in this situation because it's like he's gonna chop
yeah,
her.
yeah,
This Tin Man is aggressive. Like he is.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which is a shame because I had that Tin Man Barbie as a kid, or my Tin Man Ken. He was my favorite, but uh I there's some great memes I've seen of when they're like people either being like, okay, spoilers that Fiero is the Scarecrow, but that people saying it's hilarious that Dorothy's like, oh, I miss you most of all because he was just playing her the whole time to get to Alphaba, or it's hilarious that of course she'd say I miss you most of all because the Tin Man and the lion have rancid vibes. So
They
she's
suck.
yeah, so she's
Yeah,
like, yeah, let me
right.
the Scarecrow seems fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really
Uh
want to know what's going on in this version of the Wizard of Oz. Like just really unpleasant people around her the entire time.
yeah.
yeah.
I
Especially when we get to like Bach's like lamenting and in front of like the
the city,
building.
yeah.
Yeah, like when they're
Like
doing
kill the
the
beast song.
riot. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like this Dorothy's been hanging because Dorothy leaves the scene. You see her walk away with Toto and
Yeah.
presumably the
Hmm.
scarecrow, and then the lion and the Tin Man are still there, and he's like, fuck her. And it's like this child is hanging out with like
Yeah.
that's like part of the reason why I love this movie is that I'm thinking about the Wizard of Oz, but like this is supposedly what's really going on because like Dorothy's seeing it through child like glasses or
Yeah.
whatever, and I'm like, that's crazy. She's hanging out with like a literal like a guy who's starting a riot in the
Yeah.
street.
I've heard people call him MAGA Tin Man.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I do. It's like I get why they don't like to recreate a lot of scenes and stuff in Wizard of Oz. I
Yeah.
mean, for A, because you don't want to just recreate things, and B, I think MGM is like a copyright nightmare.
Right.
So you have
Yeah.
to be careful with what you recreate exactly and what you reference. But I
Yeah.
do also like I do want to see some of that, like just a few scenes here and there kind of recreated to be like, how is it playing out in this universe? Like I don't want to see all the beats, but just the ones that like intersect with the
Yeah.
characters. I think we did need a little more because
And
we
also
had more time.
because they wanted to hide fear of his face reveal the entire time when you
Yes.
kind of want to know how he's interacting with the others.
Yeah, they want to hide
Yes.
the face reveal, and that face reveal is not worth the hiding. Like it's not that
No.
no
Right.
one is that shook, and the way they film and promote it, everyone like
And also,
Yeah.
the musical's been out how long?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know not
it's,
everyone has seen it, obviously,
but I
but
have never seen it. I've listened to the
yeah,
soundtrack, but I knew that, like, there are two characters that are canonically the two of the folks that hang out with Dorothy.
yeah,
Like, I knew that it was Fiyero that was the Scarecrow. I knew it was Bach that it was the Tin Man.
yeah,
Again, spoilers, but like, that's the thing is, like, the musical's been out so long that, like, I don't
yeah.
know.
It is
And even without,
interesting.
they're so like deliberately not showing two of the four, and it's like there has to be a reason for that, so you can
Yes,
extrapolate. He was in a field being beaten up, and then we never see the Scarecrow, and we never see Dorothy. If it was only Dorothy, it
yes,
would make sense because they're not showing Dorothy's
exactly.
face. But like,
100%. I
yeah,
totally agree. That's why I'm like, or at least do a reveal way sooner. Like
yeah,
maybe like before the riot. Like we
Yeah,
see him before he's leaving and maybe he looks up at Glinda, you know, like maybe just something. But yeah, they held it out too long. But
yeah. It is
we're getting
interesting.
ahead of ourselves.
It is interesting to see it with like one of my friend's husbands has never seen The Wizard of Oz and isn't that familiar with it. So it is
Oh yeah.
interesting. He's like, this is all like new.
New.
And so
Yeah.
she's like, now I want to watch Wizard of Oz with him. She's like, I haven't seen it in years, and he's never seen it, so I just want to see how that goes. And I'm like, honestly, please tell me, like, give me all the
Record the whole
yeah.
thing.
Uh, so yeah, we get the Wicked Witch of the East song. Glinda is now getting ready for her wedding in the Emerald City with her animal friends. I like the animals. It's like they exist in these service roles. So it's like
and the
she
whole
has,
Snow White thing, I loved it. So like the Snow White
yeah,
slash Cinderella.
yeah,
Yes.
like she has cute little animals that help. Yeah, so it's like as long as they don't speak up too much, they're fine. Like
Yeah.
if they're like a waiter or an entertainer or a servant, it's like, yeah. Um, and she sees the Elphaba flying around and is like, come inside before someone sees that you're here. And they missed each other. They haven't seen each other. This is where we all can't come and go by bubble. Uh,
Yeah, I loved how they repurposed that for the scene from the
yeah,
the stage show where the only time they're together in Act Two really is the fight scene, and it's very caustic. I like
yeah,
reusing that line for something sweet. It just hit really well.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it was a really sweet reunion, and she's like, she's still trying to be like, let's work this out with the wizard so we can be together. And
And Glinda thinks that she has this wizard like under her thumb. She's like,
yeah,
I know how to talk to him. I'm like, girl.
Mm.
yeah. So she Alphaba is like, no, I'm gonna go to the wizard. So she goes, but Glinda is like, see, I'm here. And we're gonna sing the song "Wonderful." We added Glinda to it to up it, so it's not a skip. And to make it
Exactly.
a little bit more like what would seduce Alphaba into wanting to be with the wizard again, because she's like, I used to believe in you. You broke my heart and my trust. But like Glinda being there is like, oh,
And they got to go on a Disney dark ride,
Yes.
yeah,
then a pride parade.
yeah. Then a
Yeah.
pride parade, yeah,
Yeah. A Pride Gala,
Oh,
really. I
yeah.
yeah,
mean, that was like a big dance floor. It's like, oh, is that where the reception's happening? Because
and
that's also where like the wizard head is. Like
yeah.
that's where it was. So maybe that would be where the
Mm.
reception would be.
And that kind of
But it never
flashes.
happened.
We don't get that reception. We don't
Oh.
get that episode of Four Weddings. And she is Alphaba remembers that with that day, and then she's like, okay, well, if you want me to work with you, you need to prove to me that you can, do something. And she's like, free the monkeys. And the way they set it up, I'm like, what is going to happen with these monkeys? Are they going to attack
Yeah.
her? Are they not going to want to leave? But they do. They all leave, and she's like, "Fly, fly," which is a great reuse of that moment. Uh, and so Glinda's like, "Great, I'm gonna go get married. You're gonna be there. This is the. I'm so happy. This is like everything I've ever wanted." And then the wizard leaves, but Chistery, who can't talk, at least not yet, the leader of the monkeys, shows like nudges the wizard's portrait and shows her like a secret prison, which again, this is orchestrated a lot more easily to follow than on stage. This
Hmm.
plot point. Uh,
Yeah, because on stage it's just the monkeys flying out, and then they just happen to have this one animal, who I'm assuming you're about to get to, but it's
yeah,
kind of like, why is he in the monkey cage? What's happening here?
yeah, and we get this cage of all these animals of all different sizes caged up, including Dr. Dillamond, who can't speak. And the wizard sees it and is like, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. This looks really bad." He's like, I'm not." He's like, "Some animals are dangerous." And he starts to say, "I'm not a bad man. I'm just a bad wizard." He starts to go into that speech, and she's like, "No, you are a bad man.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna spend the rest of my life fighting you until I die."
Yeah.
And she
Because she
says,
said that's my heart's desire. I thought it was this. No, it's going to be that I'm going to fight you forever and ever.
and she unleashes all the animals and says, "Run." And it's like, who's she saying run to?
Everyone.
Yeah. And we
You know, I
get the
love that scene so much. It was incredible.
Oh, I
Yeah.
loved this because also I
Yeah,
love it's like paralleled
Chills.
with Glinda going down the aisle at her wedding. That's
yeah, that was gorgeous.
a
Like,
beautiful sham, like a beautiful
mm,
wedding,
Yeah,
butterflies everywhere who are like
the
working class or like servant
the
butterflies.
veil trailing, right? So like
Yeah,
Glinda's veil trailing. There's also the shot of Elpha coming down the stairs and her cape trailing, it's
yeah.
like those
mm,
parallels. It's very well shot. There's a lot of really great
Oh
cinematography
yeah.
and
mm.
ties in this movie for sure.
And the animals come pouring into the wedding right before the vows are said. Uh, Crashing through, destroying everything, throwing everyone into chaos. Fiora just kind of plops Glinda out of it and is like, "Okay, I gotta go." And Morble's like, "It's the Wicked Witch," and then I was like, "Oh, she's so annoying." And then the animals, like personally, like they're just kind of running through to get out, but they're personally with her, they're like, "Fuck Madame Morrible."
Yeah.
They like come for her, all the birds. I clapped when her face hit the cake, and then the frog like slapped her, like licked her in the
Yeah.
face. I think it's just like I think since a child, since like the wedding in Little Mermaid, since like the birds in Snow White, I've always
Uh-huh.
been like, I love it when animals ruin the villain's day and are just like,
I
screw
was
Yes.
you.
I was thinking the live action 101 Dalmatians with Cruella.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. It just felt so cathartic. No one else did, but I was like, yeah. So, but meanwhile, Firo has shown up. He told the guards, "Oh, get water," and the guards are all dumb. So they
Yep.
left him, and he put the wizard in a cage, and it's
I
like,
loved
hey,
that.
yeah,
It may be a little obvious a metaphor, but I loved that. You're very
Yeah, but it's
happy.
also yeah, because we're just like, okay, we saw that you were caging up these animals. Yes, you get in a cage too. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
And she's like, we're gonna leave. He's like, yeah, me and her are leaving. And Glenda's like, wait, what? You're leaving with her? And then she looks at the two of them and it's like, this whole
Oh.
time?
Oh.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Well, you deserve each other.
Hmm.
You and
Mhm.
Bach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, rough. Rough day. But Glinda, it's hard to feel too bad for her because she's like, well, if you're trying to get her, start a rumor about her sister. She cares about her sister.
We'll say again,
Yeah.
as far as motivation, it helps that it was her actual wedding ruined versus the stage show where she just kind of does that because she runs off. Here, at least, like there was a huge day and she was about to get married to the
Yeah.
man she
Yeah.
convinced herself is the man of her dreams, and then he runs
Yeah.
off. It's a little more hyped up than just
It is
yeah,
like
what
her
happens on
Absolutely.
stage.
lowest point.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
it is more understandable, not justified, because that's what I almost said, but it's where she actually participates in the taking down of Elphaba.
Yeah.
She
Mm.
actually like strategizes. So like it makes that moment a lot more understandable. It's like, well, yeah, your wedding was just ruined. And that man who did not actually love you was in love with your ex best friend, who now they're running off to have sex in this really awesome
Mm.
tree hut. So
Mm.
Yeah. So she says start a rumor about her sister, but Madame Morrible and the
it's
wizard, the
like,
moment she leaves, are like, that won't do.
like you gave us the information we needed was the sister, but
Yeah.
your other idea sucked.
Yeah.
Mhm.
These things, she says, these things must be done delicately, which is a line from the Witch of the
Yes.
West. Morrible has a lot of Witch of the West lines, and again, this goes into like they don't want to show too much of the Wizard
What
of
side of the
Oz.
city does Madame Morrible live on?
Yeah.
Okay, does she live on the west side?
Yeah. I just want I wanted there to be like Alphaba using some of these because she calls her dearie for in the first movie too, and she uses dearie a
Mm.
lot. And I
Yeah,
wanted there to be a moment where Alphaba uses it, and you kind of see the way Morrible groomed her.
yeah.
Like I felt like they
Yeah.
were building to that, but there just wasn't space for it, or they just didn't follow through.
Maybe
Um,
it's got on the cutting floor and it'll be in the
yeah,
extended version or one of the deleted scenes. Yeah.
yeah. She sings "I'm Not That Girl" reprise in the middle of her like destroyed wedding. And apparently, I didn't notice this initially, but the lyric was changed from "He loves her so" to "She loves him so."
Oh, was
So
it?
it
Mm.
plays with like the love,
Interesting.
the fact that it's a true love triangle. It's
Mm.
not
Mm.
a fake love triangle. It's like everyone in this triangle is in love with each other. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, so this is where we get "As Long as You're Mine," uh, which is not as sexy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
Not as sexy, but
The
I just
cardigan. No.
somewhat, yes. In the
Hmm.
group chat, someone sent like a TikTok about that, and I was like, listen, I could absolutely seduce someone in that cardigan. So you know what? Let her live.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was yeah, it wasn't giving everything I wanted it to give, especially from, I mean, the world's sexiest man was giving, and
I think he can have
Yes.
chemistry with anyone. Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
having
Yeah. So yeah.
chemistry with the pamphlet that she had of
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's fucking that pamphlet right now in front of us. Like that's what's
Yeah.
happening.
We
Um,
did get some shirtless action.
yeah.
Yeah. I would
Um,
like a little more, but yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I guess it's serviceable, but it kind of was like this is where I felt the movie was like pushing. We're like, okay, we gotta go, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I
wanted it
was
to be
surprised that
PG,
mm,
I think.
Oh,
I was surprised that that song is hotter on stage with them fully clothed than and they're
Yeah.
singing in
yeah.
each other's faces than they did here.
Yeah. Because it's like "Kiss me too fiercely, hold me too tight," and she's like walking away.
I yeah, right. I didn't even think about the blocking. But
Yeah.
I think what's interesting about the blocking is that they've made Elphaba so much more um what's the word I'm looking for? I guess like inexperienced. Like she's very obviously like
Mm,
closed off
Yeah.
and like not engaging. And I think that takes away from the building of the intimacy that we're looking for. Yes,
mm,
I agree. I think there's something with the blocking.
And she says, "I'm not beautiful" or something. And he's like, or she's like, "Don't lie to me." He's like, "It's not lying. It's just looking at the truth a different way." Uh, which I don't know how
Which
I would feel if someone said that to me, but
which isn't saying you're beautiful. I agree. I don't think I agree with that sentiment.
yeah.
I would also feel weird. I would be like, I mean,
You're
I
like,
might have low
mm.
self-esteem, but you're also saying that you kind of agree with me?
yeah, love it. Where's my cardigan?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we do get floating onto the bed
Mm.
sequence.
Yeah. He was into that.
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
yeah, Glinda
Yeah.
needs a fake bubble.
Yeah, exactly. I get the
Didn't
right?
want to do any bubble action.
yeah.
That's what he wanted to do. He's like, so can we fuck in the bubble?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
she's like, no, the bubble is see-through. And she's like, no, my bed is also outside
Yeah.
too. So everyone's gonna listen and see.
Those
And if I
monkeys.
ever those, yeah, the monkeys. Oh yeah. Where are the monkeys at? Are they like, oh yeah.
So we
Well, one of
get,
those monkeys has Glinda's jacket still on, apparently, from one of the screenshots. So,
yeah. Uh, Morble is summoning the storm. She's doing a storm summoning in the Emerald City. And Alphaba gets like her That's So Raven vision that like Nessa's in trouble. This is crazy, but
mm,
he's like, "You're girl, you're a green witch. Sure, have visions, fly off." But
Yeah.
he's like, "This treehouse isn't safe.
Yeah.
You need to go to my family's second castle. It's got a lot of secret passageways, Camo Co." She's like, "Where
mm.
does your family live?" "Oh, the other castle." But I do want to say that this castle is very prominent on the Wizard's Little Oz model, and there's only one
Mm.
castle.
That's true.
Hmm.
And how she ends up in her castle and which Dorothy seems to know where it is immediately is one of my big
Uh,
issues with Wicked, like the musical. And like, I'm like, why did we not resolve? I feel like there's a better way to get her in that castle earlier or like space out.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
this would be a good place for a comment on the tornado too, or are you going back to that?
Let's talk about the tornado.
Cool. Because one thing I thought it was interesting to actually see the tornado in Oz, because that's just never a thing. It's always
Right.
Kansas, and somehow it's like a vortex to take her to Oz. But here, I liked it, but I also thought it was odd because if you didn't know the story, would you know the house even came from our world? Like, if you came
Mm.
in
Yeah.
with no knowledge of Wizard
If
of
you were
Oz,
that guy that you said earlier who has
Yeah.
never seen Wizard of Oz,
yeah,
that's a
you
good
just
point. Is
assume the
this,
house was swept up somewhere between the Emerald City
yeah,
and Munchkinland.
that's a good point.
I was
Huh.
Yeah.
expecting some kind of like portal action or something to make it clear that the house was not,
Right.
from Oz.
Yeah, because the vortex, like it starts in Oz. Like that's where she
Yeah.
starts it. Yeah. Because it's in like the tulip fields and stuff
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
before it has the house. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. We also Fiero's out in the storm recruiting the monkeys.
Mhm.
Uh
Mm.
They were like, we heard what you were doing.
yeah.
Sounding like monkeys.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
We respect you. They're like she was real for that song and you're real for what you
Whatever
were
you were doing.
Yeah. Uh and we get in the middle of this storm. Nessa's just been going about looking for
Mm.
Bach. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're the governor. You don't have a
Still,
guard. You don't have anyone being like, go home. Obviously, the Munchkins
that
all
was another.
hate.
Sorry, that was another weird timeline thing. Like, how long was she just searching for him? It felt like it was
Yeah.
days later, and then she's still like, Bach, Bach, Bach. Like, what is
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah. And I'm like, those Munchkins obviously hate her because they're like, we're not telling her to come inside. Like, let her running around screaming. People did laugh in our theater when she gets squished by the house. Which, to be fair, like being squished by a house is supposed to be kind of comical.
Mm.
Right.
So,
I my laughing happened a little bit later because it's where I sort of start to piece together, okay, the Wizard of Oz and this and Wicked, where I'm like, oh my God, Glinda just gave Dorothy
Mm.
this dead woman who's actually her dead friend. Like Nessa was her
yeah.
friend, but her dead ex best friend, her ex best friend's dead sister that she just helped get killed. So she probably doesn't hasn't quite put that together. But I was like, but she just gave her the shoes, and I was like, that's so fucking funny. And
Yeah.
then I was like, Oz has a very different perspective on death than we do, because also like Elphaba, not that choked up.
No.
But I mean, they had a complicated
Mm.
relationship, but also I'm like, wow, she's more or less like, I need those shoes back.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, I would be at least a little sad. I've got family members I don't really get along with, but I think I'd still at least be sad.
Yeah, the wizard at one point says, "Oh, I've never had a family," and Alphaba says, "Oh, lucky you."
Yeah, right? Like, damn, okay.
Uh, yeah. So she's crushed. Glinda, we get Glinda saying goodbye to Dorothy.
Yeah.
Bye, Dorothy. Bye, Dodo.
Mm,
And she's like,
Yeah.
poor Nessa. And Elphaba's like, yeah, you seem super choked up. You just gave the girl my shoes. And she's like, well, she was lost, looking like trying to get her way home. She's like, the wizard can't help her. And those were belong to me. And she's like, well, it seems like a lot of people are stealing things that don't belong to them. And we get the slap fight and the fighting. Um, Running around and she's flying about. The Munchkin's not watching this.
No.
Um,
mm,
They, well, I mean, I guess if Elphaba's there, but
they're
also
hiding.
a house did, well, no, the Munchkins were there when the house,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Why didn't they stay?
This is
Because they,
where
well,
it's
yeah.
this is where I wonder if it's an MGM lawsuit there because like this it's similar in the play and it's because the Wicked Witch
mm,
of the West does not show up post house
Right.
in the book. But
Mm.
in the movie, obviously, that's like when we first meet her. It's a very iconic scene. There's a confrontation between her and Glinda. So they're doing a
yeah.
confrontation, but they don't want to recreate the scene from the book. But I
Hmm.
do kind of want to see these versions of these characters in
Yeah.
that scene
Mm,
with Dorothy there and everyone watching and how they would interact, playing fully in their roles as good and bad witch
mm.
Right.
and
Yeah.
like hinting at some so instead of just it is funny like they play it funny when they're like slapping the shit out of each other but like I would like to see
Ariana
them
Grande's baton twirl.
yeah
And Elphaba's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, Ariana Grande is giving it.
Yeah. I love
yeah
Glinda's alphabet laugh so much too.
Oh yeah, she's like,
oh
"Ah,
That was
where'd you get that?"
where'd you get that? Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah and I think it'd be funny to see them kind of throw in those barbs in a scene where like we know that they're throwing barbs at each other but like the
But they're actually,
Munchkins and Dorothy have no idea what's
Mm,
going on
yeah, and like through Dorothy's eyes, it's like them just kind of being like not that bitchy to each other, like because she just like doesn't understand that as a child. So
yeah
it would be like, "Oh, you're here," very much like the smile pretending to be, yeah,
yeah so I just wonder if it's a thing where they don't want to be too close to MGM but I would have loved to see that.
yeah.
also, I guess like if the arrow came in there, that wouldn't work at all.
Yeah,
Because then
but
Dorothy would see
again,
him there.
I
A
was
gun
ha
to Glinda's head. Yeah.
yeah,
How does Dorothy? Dorothy would never recover from that.
yeah. I think there's a way to rework a lot of that
Yeah.
beat because I
Mm,
do feel like the beat of him showing up to save Alphaba when it's a trap, it's a trap, the guards show up
mm,
to take her, and then he shows up with the monkeys and is like, I'll shoot Glinda in the face if you don't let her go. And then Glinda's like, it's okay, he really loves her, and he's arrested, and she goes off with the monkeys. But I'm like, couldn't the monkeys overpower them? Like,
mm,
Right.
and we already had him doing a gun thing to the wizard.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I was like, there's a way to, I think it's like you almost needed another mini time jump in between, like, as long as you're
mm,
mine. And that's kind of what gets her set up in that castle. And then we go for like
Mhm.
the Nessa kill, something. There's like a way. I know that you'd have to, and I think I don't want to like Winnie Holzman obviously gave us the great musical and like she helped write the script, but I wonder if they were like too stuck to like some of the motivations and plot beats from the script of the musical. And I'm like, we could have branched out, and
Yeah.
smoothed over some things to make the timeline line up a little easier.
yeah. And some of the motivations are a little murky too at this point. Like I don't
Yeah.
really get why Alphaba cares so much about the shoes. I do in the book, but in the show, it's like why is that a like they're just shoes she
Yeah.
enchanted for her sister? Why does she care? Like
Yeah,
why
because
is it
also
so important? Why is it so
yeah, because also the shoes, she's like, that's the last thing of my sister, but it's like, actually, that's the last thing of your mother because those are your
Yeah.
mother's shoes. So it's like, wouldn't you care more about this mom that you never got to know really, rather than your sister who treated you like shit? Well, it's like, that's the last thing of my mom. Like,
Mm,
Yeah.
that's the, so that's why it is sort of like, but I guess obviously they're playing from like the Wizard of Oz movie where she's just like, those are my sister's shoes.
Yeah, so we get no good deed here where, well, first Glinda's shouting Fiero as he's being dragged off. And this is where I'm like where Glinda's power in her society becomes nebulous because you'd think she'd have some authority over these guards.
Yeah.
Like unless Morrible is there being like no, but they're like holding her down in public as she's
Yes.
screaming no. which can't be
Yeah.
good for the brand. Uh,
Right.
and
But the
And
later,
Munchkins aren't there.
I thought that on stage too. I was like, this moment is just not, it doesn't quite work because suddenly she's just like a woman, I guess, and suddenly she can't fight the
yeah,
Right.
guards when she's like not the queen, but essentially like,
Yeah.
yeah, and
yeah.
it's like wouldn't there's like a way to have done it to make a little bit more sense, but like because later she sort of does a coup through her popularity, and I'm
Right.
like, so wouldn't these guards be more loyal to her than to authority figures who aren't even present?
Yeah.
Mm.
Uh, I don't. Yeah, that seems rough. But we get her flying to the Wicked Witch, Elphaba flying to Kiamoko, which has like a weird under level that's like floating. It's very video game boss level, and
Yes.
she
Mm.
she sings "No Good Deed," amazing. She's got the
Yeah.
monkeys
It's giving
about.
Bowser's Castle.
It's giving Bowser's Castle.
Yeah.
And we get her thinking about how, Nessa, Dr. Gilliman, Fiyero, she let them all down. We get Fiyero in these being beaten up in these like black and white shots, very music video, like MCR music
Mm.
video. And because she's saying like let his bones never break, she's doing her spells. And she's like, yeah, are good deeds just seeking attention? And I like how they pair it with like specific examples of things that she did. And it's like, oh, could you interpret it as seeking attention? Which, to
Right.
be fair to Alphaba, I don't think I do,
She's
but she's being hard on herself.
yeah, she's processing. She's like, okay, did I like make that whole scene at school when Nessa was being like forcibly carted away? Like, did I make that about me? Like, is
Yeah.
Nessa right? Did I make that about me and not actually trying to help her? Like I mean, that's kind of the point of the song is she's like questioning everything she's ever done. She's like, I thought I was doing this for good,
Yeah.
but am I not? Am I not? Am I actually wicked? You know?
And
Mm.
so let all's be agreed, I'm wicked through and through. And again, this is where I hate that she decides that right before, like Dorothy's already here. And I would
Yeah,
Yeah.
love for her to have decided that. And then, okay, now we have a new status quo. She wicked. And then we have Dorothy land.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That would make more sense. Yeah. Because now
Uh,
she can go after this little girl
yeah,
who
because
has no shoe.
Nessa, she already kind of failed Nessa. Like, it's yes, Nessa died and she couldn't save her, but she failed Nessa in that what she
Nessa
did to
was
help.
murdered. Let's be really clear.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
was
Mm.
murdered.
But like her trying to help Nessa, like, led to all that stuff with Bach, and Nessa couldn't be helped. And,
Yeah.
uh, so let's do a book check-in. Uh, And this is going to be about how she gets set up as Wicked Witch of the West. So she does her little Oregon Trail. She befriends these ravens, bees, and dogs. Or like killed like Otzi's dog. She gets the dog, her and her
Barry B.
son.
Benson is in the book
Barry B. Benson is in
from B
it.
movie.
She loves
Mm.
jazz. She loves the jitterbug.
Jerry Seinfeld.
And so she ends up in Kiamoko. On the way, she does meet Nestoria, who's a secret elephant princess who pretends to be a human, and she pees in a scene. And she
Okay.
does a lot more than that, but I just that
That sticks out.
every Gregory Maguire book has one to two weird bodily function moments that just stick with me. I remember Cinderella
Yeah.
peeing in a windmill in Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister. And I remember Snow White, I think period blood in his Snow White book, as well as a unicorn touching a huntsman and him ejaculating. And this is just in my brain.
Mm.
Thanks, Greg.
Some things just
Uh,
just
I
stick
always
with
have
you.
Fiyero oiling Alphaba's breasts in the sex scene. That's
Oh yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
Oh.
why didn't that make the cut in
right.
this?
Again,
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's on the cutting floor and we'll get to see it.
Yeah. Uh, so she shows up with all these animals in her like nun robes. And people are like, this lady's a witch. But in the castle, it's like Sarima and her sisters. They live there with their three kids. Sarima and Firo's three kids, Nor, Irji, and Manik. And they're just kind of live like a very kind of humble life in this big empty castle, where they're like allegedly royalty, but they don't have a lot of power. And Fiero's gone, and Sarima refuses to hear Alphaba talk about Fiero. She assumes that she like kind of puts together that there was an affair, But she's like, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. And so Alphaba just wants forgiveness and she can't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And so she just lives there. She starts studying witchcraft. She starts trying to like sew wings onto monkeys. And because she studied life sciences, she's a bio major. And they started to call her Auntie Witch because she just, lives up there. She has a magic broom. She discovers the Grimoire, which is just this book of magic that someone left there once. And so she starts to study and learn magic. Um, the kids are kind of terrible. Manic tries to drown Lear in a game of hide and seek. Uh, and because they bully Lear a lot, and he's like a psychopath, and so Alpha is pissed, and she kind of manifests his death by icicle, like not super intentionally, but she gets so mad an icicle falls and kills him. And this is where Alpha was like, I guess I do feel something about Lear. Like, I guess you're my son. And he's like, oh, while I was drowning in the well, a fish told me I'm Fiero's son, so I can't be your son. Screw you. Uh, and there's like, it's a fish? Is it metamorable? Nor at one point steals the broom and can fly. And we get these Gale Force soldiers that kind of set up nearby, and they're allegedly to like scout the lake and drain the lake. And everyone is kind of scared of the witch because she's mean. She's a mean, kind of angry lady running around in black robes. We get a lot of Sarima telling Nor stories of an evil witch, and Alphaba like thinking about what a witch means. Nanny, her old nanny, shows up to live there. And is like, oh, your sister Nessa Rose is now eminent Throp. Your great grandfather died, and she is now in charge of Munchkinland. Elphaba gets a letter from Frex, her dad, the preacher, um, that she should come to Munchkinland. Technically, she should be eminent Throp. She is the oldest, and Nessa has taken the title. So she shows up in Munchkinland, and Munchkinland has seceded from Oz, with Nessa as the leader. So she's kind of part of like a populist Munchkinlander revolt. Animals still don't have rights. Alphaba tries to free a talking cow at one point, and the talking cow doesn't really give a shit. It's just kind of like, this is my life now. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, go free and do what? Uh, Nessa is also like a religious extremist. She was very into unionism, which is their like monotheistic religion. Uh, and she can walk now or walk now with less help because Glinda enchanted the slippers that her father made her. So Glinda actually has magic in this one because she studied sorcery. Um, but she says, "Oh, I hate magic." But she does. Nessa Rose does know how to use magic. She just pretends it's miracles, and she uses magic for this lady to enchant an axe that will slowly cut up a man because this lady's woodsman is trying to run off with this servant girl, and so she's trying to like chop him up. And Nessa Rose does this favor in exchange for possession of talking animals, like she does slave bartering. Uh,
Oh.
and Alphaba is
And this
like,
also links up to the original book more than the film because
yeah, because in the
it's
original
a prequel to the
book,
book.
yeah, and in the original book, the woodsman was just a guy who was hurt by enchanted axe that
Mhm.
was made enchanted by the Wicked Witch of the East. Um, so it lines up there. And Frex, the dad, is like, Nessa needs you. She is too religious and crazy, and you're the rightful heir. And she's like, Dad, you always want me to take care of you and Nessa. Like, you're always the only time you care about me is because like you want me to help Nessa because you see Nessa as like the child of your beloved throuple, and I'm like a symbol of your guilt for failing to stop the evil time dragon clock. Uh, so she's like, I can't stay and just help you, but she does make Nessa promise to give Elfie the shoes. So when she dies, she gets the shoes. On their way, she visits Bach, who lives in Munchkinland with his wife Milla and their kids. She attempts suicide a lot, and he writes about it in the Christmas card, the Learn Loomis card.
Hmm.
Uh, so they're kind of a strange dynamic. It's like they're happy,
Yeah.
but are they? And Alphaba's like, what's going on with Bach?
So when I fill out Christmas cards for my family this week, should I update them on my mental health issues too? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, that's the Bach way. They
The
deserve to
Munchkin land.
know.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
deserve to know.
And also, like, it's another link to the book. In the book, Bach is a Munchkin that Dorothy like stays with on her way out of Munchkin Land, and he feeds her with his wife. So it links
Yeah.
Right.
to that.
Yeah, so he's like a deep cut character that Gregory
Yeah,
Maguire made a maid character in this book, but the musical
Yeah,
was like, we're not
we're
keeping
not
that.
doing that.
Yeah.
no,
Uh
he'll be like a much more main character.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Uh so she gets back to Kyamako, but while she was gone, the Gale Force invaded and ki disappeared, but most likely killed Sarima and her sisters and Ergi. Nor is gone as well. The only people left are Nanny and Lear, and the animals like the bees, the dogs, and monkeys and ravens. So Elphaba is like desperately looking for them. She's like, I have to get them back because they're attacked because of me. Like I'm trying to like make amends. I just keep ruining everything. And
Yeah,
so
that was the
then,
thing earlier. I can't remember if you said or not that like a lot of Alphaba's of motivation there was getting Serima's forgiveness to her
yes,
for
yeah,
Right.
sleeping with her husband.
yeah, and she never
So she
got
still
that.
feels that guilt. Yeah, she
Yeah,
refused. Yeah, she refused to give her that. She wouldn't
Yeah.
let her talk about it. Actually, Serena was just like, "No, we're not going to discuss this. You're my guest." And Alpha would be like, "Oh, we should talk about your husband." What? Oh, what are you talking? Oh,
yeah,
knowing but not wanting to
deal
give her
with
the
it.
absolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Uh, so now we do a cut for 7 years, and then we hear about this freak accident and Nessa being hit by a house while passing out awards for perfect church attendance. Glinda mentions like it's crazy that they did that ceremony because like the storm was crazy. Like I don't know how they even started doing that. Um, Everyone is celebrating with like you could stop walking all over us. Like the shoes became a symbol of Nessa like treading on everyone. And so now it's a free state of Munchkinland ruled by like the people. They're kind of like slowly tearing up the Eminent Throp Manor. Um, Elfie is there to say bye to her dad, to attend the funeral, and she sees Glinda for the first time in since they parted in the Emerald City. Glinda's in a crazy dress, full of like tableaus of history, and she's like, "Oh well, out in the provinces, you know." Uh, but Glinda is just like, "Yeah, you know, my husband does banking stuff, and wherever he does banking, I do charity work." So, you know, and Alpha was like, wait, you're kind of in league with like the wizard trying to re-annex Munchkin Land. And she's like, nah, I just kind of like do charity work and like it's a shame they're destroying this architecture. And when I heard I was there at a zoo with talking animals, Alpha, that's what Alphabet clocks, but she's like, oh, whatever, you know, I flew this phoenix from the zoo to get there, and everyone was gonna start worshiping this girl. They were like, Munchkinlanders are just so dumb and provincial. And so I just like gave her the shoes because that would have caused an issue, and sent her to the wizard. And Alpha was like, "What the fuck? Those were mine. Those were not yours to give." And Glenda's like, Since when did you care about fashion and shoes?" And there is a lot of like this interaction is it's very funny because they are like still slightly ribbing each other. Like they instantly go back into being good friends. But then the moment the shoes come up is when she's like, wait, you're up to shady shit, Glinda. What are you doing? And those shoes
And I was
belong
like,
to.
why did you happen to be here right now for the house falling? She
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
something about that. Like, it's interesting you're here now. Why are you here now?
Hmm.
Yeah. And she's like, and like you knew those, like you can't just give people the shoe, like someone else's stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and there's references to Dorothy being a name for goddess of gifts or like a reincarnation of Lurleen. Glinda is also like, oh, like, because Alpha was like, are we all under that spell from Madame Morrible that we were all going to be like witches who serve the wizard and stuff? And she's like, oh, I don't think so. And I sometimes pray to the unnamed god, and I think he would have freed me from any spells.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what Alpha replies, like, okay. But while she's in Munchkinland, she meets the wizard. Um, she's trying to exchange the Grimoire for Fiero's family. But he's like, they're dead, except Nor, who's here chained up. And I want to use the Grimoire. It's from my world, and he wants to like create weapons of war. And he's like, he's very much after the Grimoire. And he's like, well, I'm not from Oz, so why would the rules of Oz and the lives here matter to me? And it's implied that he was Irish. And then she storms off because she's upset by the wizard. And Glinda is like, "Oh, Elfie," as she sees her storming off, and that's the last they interact. And on the way back, she sees Bach, who hosted Dorothy, and is like, "She's a sweet girl. Leave her alone. She's good." And she's like, "Bach, what happened to you? You're so spoiled. Like, you used to be so like cool and now you're this loser." And that line has stuck with me so much because I think about it with so many people I knew from growing up where you're just like, what
Mm,
happened to you? And you see it because you see the weird
yeah.
things about Bach at least when I was older and I revisited the book, you like see that Bach is kind of a weird guy from the beginning. But yeah, so it's like just that when you go back and you look at those friends and you're like,
Mhm.
yeah. Uh so she sees the traveling companions, Dorothy and friends. She's kind of like, what's going on with these weirdos? They
Mm,
seem to talk a lot of shit about me. And she goes to Shiz to kill Madame Morrible because she hears that Morrible was giving the wizard policy advice and that Glinda seemed sort of friendly or aware of Morrible and like cool with her. And she's like, we know that Morrible killed your nanny, Alma Clutch, and Dr. Dilliman, and was super horrible to you. So, like, why are you chilled with Morrible? Uh, so she shows up to kill Morrible, but she's already dead. So she just takes a bust and defaces her corpse with the bust, and writes a message to make it look like she killed her. And she goes to a house party. She ends up at the house party of Averick, who was their rich snobby friend, who's kind of more of the Fiero that we
Right.
get in the book,
yeah.
like in the musical, like the kind of free, like hot guy who doesn't care about anyone. And he basically has like house parties with rich snobs, and they debate what's murder, what's good and evil. She's like, I did a murder. They're like, LOL, that's crazy. So she's just at that party and she's like, what am I doing? And on the way back, she comes upon the clock of the time dragon, which puts on a little show for her, and it reveals that the wizard is her father.
Mm.
Mhm.
And it also tells like the story of Saint Alphaba and be coming out from behind the waterfall, and like it's a very meta experience for her. So okay, that's we're kind of now we're sort of lined up book
Mm,
and musical movie as much as they can be to like our final act. Uh, the companions are arriving in Emerald City, and Madame Morrible is like, the girls arriving, we have to use this. And again, it feels a little bit like, oh, I feel like I sound more critical of this movie than like I do like this movie,
mm.
but like it's like what about Dorothy does makes her, oh, this is a great chance to take out the witch.
Right. It's
It relies
again,
on
I think
us
it's
knowing the story, yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
she's important because she's supposed to be important, like versus the book where there is
Yes.
like there are political machinations going on.
Exactly.
Here
Like
it's like she's just some girl.
we so like it's like, oh yeah, like she's doing the press secretary thing. She's like, this is a thing we can do to perpetuate our narrative. But it is like, but why this little girl? And I think if it was made more clear that like as Dorothy is moving through Oz toward the Emerald City, is that like word is getting around Oz that like, oh, there's this girl and but that's the thing is like Nessa wasn't considered like the Wicked Witch of the East as it's sort of assumed in the Wizard of
Yeah.
Oz, you know,
Or
which is like,
even
oh,
in the book where she has
right, where she,
power. Yeah.
exactly.
In
But I'm
the
talking
book,
about
she is it is an assassination from their perspective, and Dorothy's basically a saint who's come down and freed
yes,
them.
that's the thing is that like it feels like if Morrible would have been able to play with that, right? Because that's also like an excuse for her to like wash her hands of the fact that she just murdered this woman.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like we need something more about like, well, what makes Dorothy so special? It's well, because my narrative has been built of that, like, oh, Dorothy arrived in the house that destroyed. So Dorothy is the one who did this, and we're so happy.
Yeah.
Um, but it's also like, but in this movie, to the Munchkins, we don't see that Nessa has become this like witch to them. Because to your point earlier, that like, how long was Nessa hanging out looking for Bach? Was it weeks? What is she
Yeah.
doing? So the timeline makes that weird. And then also, of course, like we don't understand the Munchkins' hatred of Nessa to understand that perhaps Morble's narrative could be, she could be like, oh, I didn't even have to make this narrative. This girl just happened to be in the house that I dropped on Nessa.
Yeah.
Great, that's going to be perfect for us. We're going to use this. But I think Rob, you're right. We have to rely too much on people know the Wizard of Oz. Like
Yeah.
they're going to fill in the blanks. But it's like you could play with that a little more in this movie.
Mm.
Yeah. You could even
That's kind of
have,
what I heard in. Sorry, I heard in like the Star Wars prequels back in the day. People saying the problem is people are important because they're supposed to be important, not because the
Yes,
narrative actually justifies them being important in the moment.
exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
And even just having the wizard be more, like in the book, he's kind of rattled because she's from the same world as him, like the same part of the world, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, that Dorothy is, right?
Yeah. That
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels
like,
like fate. Yeah.
yeah, that him,
Yeah.
Madame Morble is like, okay, she's from Kansas. And he's like, what?
I'm from Kansas.
Yeah.
Or is he from
Yeah.
Kansas?
Nebraska.
Nebraska. Okay.
He's Nebraska,
That's the
But
same
which I
pretty
remember
state.
because
close.
my partner's from Nebraska, so that's like the only fact I know about it, other
Whoa.
than the cows.
Yeah. And the great Omaha has a great zoo.
Oh,
Yeah. It's also like, yeah, it's just I wish they tighten that up a bit, and it's I think because they really don't want Dorothy to be like a character, which I understand
right.
why, but I get why the stage show can get away with it, but I'm like I think we needed to in this movie with a full hour of runtime, and you could have the first one was 2 hours 45, you could have added another hour in there if you felt like it.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
And it's a shame because Dorothy in the books is amazing. She is like book four, she comes back and she is like the most entertaining character ever. She's kind of an amalgamation of Dorothy and Judy Garland, but like on
Mm.
crack. And she's so much fun.
yeah, and just like even just having her as a minor character so we can see the way people are machinating around her, the characters that we are
Mm,
invested in.
But she doesn't even need to be a character in the movie. Again, she can still be this sort of figure that moves around. We don't see her face, we just see her
Yeah.
visage, the dress and the shoes, the things that the piggy tails, the things that we
Yeah.
associate. But it's really like how people, like you said, how people react to her. But
Yeah.
like if we have, as she's moving through Oz, like the Munchkins word of like, oh, we hated Nessa because this of what she did with
Yeah.
telling Munchkins they have to stay, like imprisoning them in their own lands. And then, this house gets dropped on her by this girl. I
Yeah.
I think
And then
there
the
is a
witch
way to
hates
use
her. The witch of the
Dorothy
West hates her and wants the
with,
shoes. Yeah.
but yeah, there must be something very weird with the way MGM is holding on to Dorothy and the way they're allowed to use her. I mean,
Yeah.
perhaps maybe they're not allowed to make Dorothy potentially a murderer because that would ruin Dorothy,
But
you
she
know.
is.
mm.
But but people who only see the Wizard of Oz, I think even you come away from the Wizard of Oz, you don't think that Dorothy murdered her.
Yeah.
But if all the people in Oz in the Wicked movies, think Dorothy is a murderer, well, that ruins your icon.
Well, but even
So
if they're
maybe that's what
like,
it is.
I get what you're saying, but like you could
Mm.
play like
You
she's like
can't
a
mess with,
saint. She defeated a wicked witch, and that's
right.
the whole point of this whole thing is like who is the
Exactly.
wicked witch? So
Yeah.
there's a way, like I'm not saying we need to spend a ton of time with Dorothy, but I think the
It's just,
fear of showing her and I wonder if it's MGM or just an attachment to what worked in the musical or both.
right.
Like something is I'm like we're skipping steps and I don't need it to
Mm.
be like it's Oz. Like I'm not asking for like something super in depth, but I just need like some simple logic things.
Yeah.
And so we get them being told to get the witch's broom. We get March of the Witch Hunters. They're like running through Emerald City, saying kill her, melt her. We get
And why is it that the wizard is so like meh at this point? He's like, I don't care about this girl. Like, why isn't he doing wizard things? Like,
I think
what,
he's checked out. I think
yeah, but like,
Morble's
Mm.
just
why?
running it.
Yeah, I don't know. Because you telling me like what's happening in the book is like, oh, that's interesting that like that's why he's like rattled that
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like this
Mm.
is something from my world that's showed up, it's like it's a motivation for his emotional distraughtness or
Yeah.
whatever emotional thing he's going through. Because, like, I mean, of course, I already knew that the wizard was her father because the movie's not very subtle with it, with the green
Yeah.
bottle thing. And also watching the part one, realizing, oh, they're really not showing that guy's face during like the sequence with the mom. It's like,
Yeah.
well, obviously that's the wizard.
Yeah.
Like you
Mm.
can make that jump. And so I'm just like, I thought that his emotional distraughtness was like, is he realizing that he's Elphaba's father somehow? Like I thought I was missing something
Yeah.
because I was like, why are you so checked out? Like, what are you worried about? You know, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
I think there again, you could have easily done that with, okay, Dorothy's here,
Maybe being put in a cage rattled him. I don't know.
yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. It's possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fanny and Shen Shen see Bach as the Tin Man railing, and they're like, uh, you can't tell if they're like, what the fuck, he's a tin guy, or if they're like, what the fuck, you're unhinged. Like, or probably
Yeah.
both. They're just like, you're crazy. And Glinda even looks like he looks at Glinda and she looks at him, and she's kind of like, is that
It's
fucking
like,
Bach?
well, it's like there's a recognition there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like something is off because she doesn't like they don't obviously make that connection very obviously, but it's like I mean he knows who she is, but
yeah,
it is like she has a moment of like, and it's like, oh, is she, going to have her monologue song because she recognizes it's Bach, or is it because, she's like, oh, this person has had, such a horrible experience, and turns out things aren't as good as
yeah.
I'm pretending they are.
Yeah, she's a public figure now, but maybe, she's been lying. And so we get Girl in the Bubble. Uh
Yeah.
I did not understand a word in the theater, but bubble and pop but I could hear it on the soundtrack.
Yes, I also had a problem with this song. I'm like, I understand some of the sentiment, but some of it is getting lost
Yeah.
because I'm like, I don't know what she just said quite. But then, yeah. And
Because the
also,
lyrics are pretty good. Like it's like all that takes to live in a dream is endlessly closing your eyes. And you're like, damn, that's real.
yeah. I also, I kind of think it went on too long. That's just my opinion. Um, and I got bored of it very quickly, but I did like the way it was staged, like the
The
blocking cinematography
shooting,
with
yeah,
the
how they shot it.
Mm.
mirrors.
Yeah.
It's like, are we looking at Glinda or are we looking at her reflection? Because it keeps changing. And I thought that was brilliant. And that's what I was focused on. But I'm like, the song is kind of going in one ear out the other, except for the idea she's like, I'm a girl in a bubble and my bubble needs to pop. And I'm like, okay, great. I love that emotional beat, but I don't know if I love the song. And I think it sticks out as like, I don't think it musically goes together with the rest of the musical. And I feel more strongly in a negative way about this song than I do about No Place Like Home. Um, yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think as a musical, a song kind of should be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it it gets by and it's fine, but I have no memory of it. I haven't listened to it again since, and I have no memory of it as a song,
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
than the general gist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I do like the song and I do like the way it was shot. I do think it maybe could have slightly been moved and you could have a bit of it can be a little static and I think it's like, okay, we're doing a song and it's shot beautifully, but I'm like maybe part of this song should be happening as she's running off to see Alphaba,
Right.
Mm.
like to keep the music and the story going because
Yes. It
this
stops.
yeah.
It just stops. I 100% agree.
Mm. I
Uh
think also it'd be good to have more specific lyrics about Glinda's relationship with Alphaba and where they are right now.
yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
about, oh, how my illusion is to pop, but she's not really talking about the thing that gets her from fighting Alphaba to having the tearful goodbye scene with her.
Yeah.
Exactly, because her switch is seeing Bach and the rioters. It's like, well, why isn't her switch something related to specifically Fiyero or Elphaba?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
seeing them. That's why I think that, would have been more impactful
Even if
character
it's
wise.
it's after if she's there like devastated after they just tried to kill Fiero.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that's a
Yeah, that
pop hole,
feels
the bubble pop. She went from, oh, I'm like the princess or like the good witch, and now I'm being held down by guards while they take
and
my
it's
beloved
like,
away.
oh, I actually don't have power, even though these people are supposed to obey me because I'm good and they like me and I'm popular. I don't have power. They took him
Mm,
away.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's no reason that could have happened before March of Witch Hunters other than the script of the musical, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. So the march, she sees them in this one. They just have the companions leave. The musical kind of implies that a mob goes to the castle to kill her. This is just
Yes.
like Dorothy and friends, and then uh Glinda is like, okay, Morrible, you definitely killed Nessa. Like, this has gone too far. And she's like, obviously, you fooled everyone else thinking you're so good, but you just need to sit there, shut up, and smile and wave, because this is always what you wanted. And apparently, this scene scared Ariana so much when they were filming that her contact fell out. Uh, and she's
Popped her
sitting there
lung.
with all her propaganda, although, and kind of realizing, like, oh, I'm just like a propaganda piece.
Hmm.
So Alphaba sends the monkeys after Dorothy and her
Why
companions.
wouldn't the couldn't the song happen after that scene? Because
Yeah,
Morrible is
pop
like
the
I
bubble.
literally popped her bubble because like before like Morrible wasn't nice to her, but Morrible has finally just laid it out and be like, "Shut the fuck up! You are a tool to me." And it's
Yeah,
like that would pop the bubble because also she's surrounded
Mm.
by Elphaba's propaganda and stuff. And yeah, like even you could just move the song right after that. And it's like,
yeah,
okay, then she's going to the castle, she's gonna go after her. Yeah. They really should have called us. Like we could
yeah,
have helped them move around some note cards, like, okay, let's just restructure this a little bit.
yeah. Just a little bit of restructuring.
Yeah,
Yeah. So Dorothy is kidnapped by the monkeys, and Glinda rides off on a horse, which may be implied to be Fiero's talking horse from earlier.
right.
Because she's like, I need your help. She takes the earrings off, too conspicuous. And her sleeve ruffles, and she goes to Kamako. And we see that Elphaba has Dorothy in a cellar, is like, shut up. You want to get back to your aunt whatsoever. Give me the shoes.
Yeah.
And again, so like Glinda shows up and Elphaba really seems to know what her plan is. And I'm like, what did Dorothy and the shoes have to okay,
Mm.
Yep.
it's kind of like because that's how it happened. And she's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
I she gets the something from Fiero, like when the monkeys gives her Fiero's sleeve, and she's like, oh, we'll never. She's like, what is that Fiero? She's like, yeah, you'll never see his face again. Interesting phrasing choice. Because apparently there's a note
Mm.
in the sleeve. But she's like, here's the grimoire. I know you can't read it, but you can do the things I couldn't do. Like, because she's like, I can't do anything. Look at me, not with your eyes, but with theirs. Great new line. Um,
Yes.
like you can do the thing. Like, don't clear my name. You can fix things. Uh, and we get for good after the great line. You're my only friend, and I've had so many friends, but only one that mattered.
Mm. Yeah.
Who cried during this song?
I cried a little bit, but I think I think I just was maybe like a little I think at that point I was already thinking about the movie and like thinking critically about it.
Yeah.
But I brought the box of tissues for my group. And like as soon as like they show up to the castle, like when it gets there, I was like, oh, here you go. And I started passing them
Mm.
down because I was like, not much time left until we start crying. So grab your tissues.
Yeah.
So I was like, I sense it. I sense it, you know. Um, but I didn't cry. I teared up for sure. And I think it is the things that we're talking about where maybe I was starting to think about some of my potential qualms with the structure that like I wasn't feeling the emotional amplification. But I bet if I listen to it in isolation, I will absolutely cry.
I mean, I cried. I also
I cry
lost.
every time I hear the song.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I lost a friend this year, and so I knew, like,
Hmm.
I was like, this movie's gonna wreck me, like this song specifically.
Yes.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was crying pretty hard. What about you, Rob?
I was just tearing up a little, and again, I think it's actually what Hannah said. I had the same kind of issues where I think actually part of it was having seen the show on a 2 days earlier and having the same issues and thinking the film would fix them, and then
Mm,
I was like, oh, what the hell just happened? It didn't.
They just
yeah.
So I had the same
didn't.
thing.
Yeah.
It kind of didn't get there. Although, I mean, there were a few tears, and I actually cried more at the door moment right
Oh,
after the
Oh,
song.
yes.
yes.
That
Yes.
that got
Where
me.
where they're side by side and you see them on either side of the door, they're like having
Yeah.
that like touching hands moment, or like
Eh,
or the death scene where Berg gets
and
both.
the "I love you" too. In
Yes.
Yeah.
fact, she actually
I,
said it. That definitely got me. And
yeah.
like just Cynthia Erivo and Ariana's chemistry is so good that
Yeah.
takes you a lot of the way. And that
Yeah.
that was actually kind of the problem on stage. If you don't have a perfect Linda and Alphaba whose chemistry
Yes.
is great, you don't get to For Good with the same emotion because they're only on stage for moments on the stage show. So the first time I saw it was the original cast. So Adina and Kristen Chenoweth,
Wow.
it was amazing. I didn't even notice the flaws in the script. Seeing
Right.
it the other night, they were both individually good, but didn't have that like unbreakable bond. So it
Yeah.
felt empty. So at the very least, like Cynthia and Ariana can get you very far, even with all the flaws, because they're
Yeah.
just so fucking amazing together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because she's like, no one can know you're here, puts her in the closet. Mm.
Mm.
And you see them crying on either side of the closet after you get the I love you.
Mhm.
And we get like, I guess she like lets Dorothy out or they free her. I'm like, is Bach here?
I had one
Uh,
question too. Like when Glinda's like pumping water at the well before, was she already trying to set that up?
I
Oh
think
And if so,
yeah.
Alphaba
how did she get
was.
Dorothy? Yeah,
Yeah, it's like she
I
knew that she's like, I have to end this. I need to go away.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
And
like
I guess Dorothy's already been told the propaganda about the water in this world, so she would see a bucket and
yeah.
Yeah.
know it
And
was
of course
yeah.
Elphaba's like, well, that's ridiculous, but okay, I guess I'm gonna pump some water. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they do this almost like standoff because you see Glinda watching it through like the door, and they do this like standoff, like attack, and she like throws the water and she pretends to melt, and Dorothy picks up the broom, like victory, and you're like, wow, this is like almost the only version where she intentionally
Mm.
kills her.
And I kind of hated that moment. I
Yeah.
hated Dorothy so much in that moment. It was just so. I found that I love. I don't have a lot of like there. I have problems with the film. I loved it overall, but that shot I fucking hate. It was just so
Where she's like,
Victor. Yeah,
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 I think because it's like
yeah.
it's like she's living her coming of age story, and we're like on the other
We're like,
side.
yeah,
you just destroyed lives, little girl. Yeah.
Yeah,
and it wasn't an
Yeah.
accident. It wasn't like, oh, you throw fire scarecrow. It was it was
yeah,
deliberate.
Yeah, because in Wizard of Oz, she doesn't purposely do it, right? It's an accident.
Yeah, no, yeah. The witch lights the scarecrow's arm on fire, and Dorothy's trying to throw water on his arm,
Yes.
and it splashes.
yeah. So it is
I
very
mean, in the
different.
book, she does it on purpose, but that's she
Right.
doesn't think it's going to kill her. She's
She's
just
just
pissed
pissed because
off.
she's like
Yeah,
abusing her and her friend, and she's like, "Stop!"
yeah,
Yeah, I again,
I didn't
it's
really think about that.
and then yeah, I'm like the logistics is she just like let her out and say it's fighting time? Are the other companions here? Like, just like what is going on? Like, I get emotionally what's going on, but like logistically, what's happening?
Right.
And
mm.
so Glinda comes out of the closet and
Hmm.
sees the hat and the water and is sobbing. And Chistry shows up and speaks to her and gives her the glass bottle, the green glass bottle that Alphaba used to keep under her bed, and that Glinda recognizes is the kind the wizard drinks from. Took her a while to get there. And I do love that I did not guess that the cloaked rider in the first movie was Glinda. Like when you see
Mm.
them riding out of the castle. I was like, oh, it's Glinda, but I didn't guess that.
Oh.
Yeah, I assumed it was Fiyero first time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Huh. Yeah.
let's do our last book check-in. But so Alphaba got the clock at the Time Dragon show. Wizard's her dad. She's losing it. She hasn't slept in days. She goes to Yakamoko. Dorothy and her friends are on the way. She starts to be like, "Is that Scarecrow Fiero?" Because she's like losing her brain.
Mm.
And so she sends her dogs, Ravens and Bees, to get them, which the Scarecrow and Tin Man kill. And so she's
Which
like,
again links up to the book, the original bomb book.
"Yeah." And so
She
Yeah.
she's
sends all
like,
those animals after them.
"Oh, well, obviously it's not Fiero. I'm pissed they killed my friends." She sends the monkeys to get Dorothy and the lion. She's like, there's just a lot with Alphaba like not believing in souls or thinking she doesn't have a soul, and part of her is like, is Dorothy my soul? Come for me, because she's like lost it so much.
Mm.
Mm.
There's a crazy dinner with Dorothy like weeping and the nanny and Lear and Alphaba all there, and Alphaba's just like,
Mm.
give me the shoes, and she's like, uh. Dorothy chases after, or like Alpha's attacking her, and Dorothy's like, she's like, you were, or Alpha's like, the wizard sent you to kill me. And Dorothy's like, correct. But I don't want to kill you. I was horrified to
Mm.
learn that I killed your sister. I came here to apologize. Like, could you ever forgive me? Because I can't forgive myself. And Alphaba is pissed off because she never got forgiveness
Yeah.
for everything that happened with Fiero, and
Mm.
now this girl comes in asking for forgiveness and is being so like nice to her, and she's raving around, going crazy, lights herself on fire, and
Mm.
Dorothy sees a bucket, throws water on her, and then she starts to melt, and she sees like all these visions of like she sees Bach, she sees her family, she sees Glinda waiting to be good enough to get everything that comes to her. um, and like she sees her life flash before her eyes essentially, and she sees Dorothy, the goddess of gifts, in the fire and water, like holding her and singing to her as she melts. So like it's actually like her final moments, like Dorothy's being compassionate to her. And then they like zoom out of Oz. I like wanted to read a couple lines from the end. They zoom out to Oz, and we get Lady Glinda had a bad night, a night of shakes and regret and pain. She guessed was early signs of gout from her rich diet, but she sat up half the night and lit a candle in a window for reasons she couldn't articulate. The moon passed overhead in its pass from the Vincus, and she felt its accusatory spotlight and moved back from the tall windows. So it's like she's like thinking of her, and it references that Glinda hardly remembers seeing the wizard, but she remembers the trip with Alphaba and like sleeping together, and
Mm.
there was only one bed and all that kind of stuff. She thinks about that
Mm.
a lot. And when she's around Alphaba, she gets like shy again. But she also is racist and is like, I wouldn't sleep with Fiero. He's dark. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh, I disappointed that you kind of became a snob again
Mhm.
in middle age. Yeah, and Dorothy makes her way back to the wizard, and he saw her coming from Kansas as a sign to give up his quest for the Grimmery and leave. And he leaves like a few hours before there's a palace coup. People don't really know how Dorothy got home. Some people said she like is still in Oz, is waiting to return. Other people said she like floated up in the air. It's just kind of like they're like, well, the witch was they celebrated her death. People don't know what's going to happen. And the last lines are, and there the wicked old witch stayed for a good long time. And did she ever come out? Not yet. So it's implied that she might come back later. Also, people distribute a lot of replicas of the shoes because they become like a relic that people like
Mm.
pass around. Yeah, so that is how it ends. A lot less cathartic,
Mm.
but interesting.
For anyone who is interested in the book, I would actually really recommend the others as well. It gets very fascinating in the later books, especially because Gregory Maguire is sort of responding to the musical as well. So he
Mm.
doesn't change the continuity or the canon, but he clearly sees the Glinda Elphaba relationship in a different way after the musical. And there
Yeah.
are some beautiful scenes throughout of Glinda remembering Elphaba, and then other things that I don't want to spoil that might have to do with what you mentioned about will she come out again, that it's just really interesting because he's definitely seeing it as like the Wicked musical story as also a text that he's working with, not just
Mm.
the bomb and the film. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really interesting and it's very epic, and I, yeah, highly recommend the whole series.
So yeah, I also recommend. I know a lot of people like the book is really scary and weird, but I would recommend reading it. It's really
Yeah.
interesting. And yeah, so the back to the movie, we're at the very end. Glinda gives the green bottle to the wizard and is like, "Yeah, it looks like this was Elphaba's mom's. This looks like yours." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm her dad." And she's like, "You're gonna leave. You're gonna get on a balloon and go back to where the fuck you came from." Which this, her ability to kind of dethrone the wizard because he's like so mentally like lost it. I wish they had built up a little bit, but like it does track to me.
Mm.
And then Morrible doesn't really have any power anymore without the wizard. So she's like, the monkeys are taking you away. I don't think you have what it takes to survive in a cage because they're empty now. So you're gonna go in the cage.
Hmm.
Uh,
Well, she throws back the line that Morrible
yeah,
gave her at school was,
I don't think you have what it takes.
yeah, it's, maybe you'll surprise me, but I doubt you will.
Yeah.
And that
Uh,
was
Goodbye.
actually also an improvement from the stage show because the monkeys grab Marble, not the guards. Because on stage, she suddenly is commanding the guards, and it's like, but they didn't listen to you with Fiero like a few scenes
Right.
yeah.
ago, and now suddenly they're bowing down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the monkeys
And of
were gonna
course,
because they actually set that up.
the monkeys would be like, hell yeah, we'll dry her away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she's looking, you see her looking down at the wizard trying to leave, and Dorothy being like, "No, don't leave without me." She's like, "There's always something with that girl." I do wish they explained how Dorothy got home, because I'm
but does
like,
she? We don't know.
we don't
As far as
know.
we know, she
Yeah,
just
she's just
isn't explainable.
there. Yeah.
I just found it so bizarre how the film both is like it's very important for them to set up the Wizard of Oz, but also don't really care about it at all at the same time
Yeah.
in a weird way.
Yeah, it's like we spend
Because
a lot of energy being like, "Oh, and this so and so's the Tin Man," but then it's like, "Oh, we don't care what happens to this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I actually had a fix for the shoe thing, if you're interested.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I thought the whole thing that the wizard always promises your heart's desire, gives you your heart's desire, that he can
Yeah.
grant your heart's desire, he can. So Nessa always, it seems like she wanted to be like Alphaba. She wanted that power, that. So
Yeah.
so if the spell on the shoes is they grant you your heart's desire, then Nessa's desire is to fly, Dorothy's desire is to go home, and that
Mm,
Yeah.
would work
yeah.
because that's
Mm.
what Dorothy went to the wizard for, and
Yeah.
he
Yes.
couldn't give it. The shoes can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the shoes do it. Uh, yeah, because Glinda's not there to tell her. And maybe after the groomery opens for her, spoilers for the last moment, Glinda can help Dorothy. And so maybe Dorothy's just stuck there a little longer. Um,
Mm.
yeah, because I was expecting, I'm like, is she gonna, yeah, there's like some just
Dorothy couldn't.
logistic.
Dorothy couldn't. I mean, Glinda couldn't care less about telling Dorothy to use the shoes. She just
Yeah.
she just left her on her own.
She's like,
Yeah.
there's always something with that girl.
Hmm.
So we're back at No One Warns the Wicked. We're back at this event. Munchkinland always needs a rally. And Glinda's like, actually, we get her about to tell the story, and she's like, wait, I just want to say something. And she puts down her wand, her fake wand, just like the toy one she had as a kid, and is like, we've gone through a really scary time. And we're gonna be scared again, but I wanna be there for all of us Ozians as Glinda, the good. Because Morbo is like, can't you see the goodness in your heart? And she's like, I'm not good, but I'm trying to be. And she says, like, come out wherever you are, like the Glinda to the Munchkins in Wizard of Oz MGM, and all the animals come out. And she's
Hmm.
like, all Ozians, like, I want to be good for everyone. And we get Dillamond returns to his university, Dulciber's back. Fanny and Shenshen, of all people, are opening the Emerald City gates for the animals. I love they still have their jobs. And so she's like, she is able to heal Oz and the segregation, and really wants to be Glinda the Good. Uh, but Fiero is a scarecrow, and he's helping Alphaba escape into the desert. They can't tell Glinda that they're alive. And so they're off into the desert while Glinda runs up to the Defying Gravity Tower. And we get the finale, which they don't include on the soundtrack. Uh,
Right.
and they sing for good, and the Grimmery comes alive with magic, and we get a recreation of the original Broadway poster.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yep.
the gays were gasping in the
Yeah,
cinema where I was,
they were
as was
gagged.
I, including
Yeah.
me. It was amazing. It's like very much like understood the assignment. This is what we want.
Yeah,
And the fact that it's like the final frame is also really good, you know.
Yeah. And on a
Um,
meta level, because it was from that sequence that everyone's like, oh, they cut it from the film. Where is it to actually have that piece there and have it be there?
Yeah.
yes,
Felt really
exactly.
meaningful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. There and there's the yeah, great ending, great closing because I kept wondering how they were gonna do that ending, that
Mhm.
finale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh
I was very happy that Glinda actually had a sign of magic at the end, that the Grimmery actually responded to her. You don't
Yeah.
know on the stage show if she's going to be able to use it. It just kind of like, do your thing, and she leaves her, and hopefully she'll figure it out. And it was a nice, just
Yeah.
culmination of Glinda's arc here.
And
yeah. That
Like,
now in
I
a way,
mean,
because she's finally good, she can finally be the good witch she always wanted to be.
yeah.
She
right.
just needs
And
to actually
Elphaba
be
got
good
her there.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of read the moment where like Elphaba is like she like smiles and like walks
Hmm.
backwards from the camera, right? Is like she kind of like was able to like nudge the Grimmery to be like, no, you can choose her.
Mm,
Like she passes the power off, you
Yeah.
know? That's
And
sort of how I read that.
yeah, I like that.
because Alphaba has that line like good has to mean something. It can't just
Mm.
be a word. But also
Exactly.
that good has needs wicked to be defined. Like good and evil need each other to define each other.
Yep.
And that the wicked Glinda couldn't be the good witch without the wicked witch on these multiple levels.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, I will say that while I think there's some issues getting to the point, I do buy that they changed each other here. Whereas again, when I saw it on stage this week, I was like, they didn't really. I don't see where that happened because they
Yeah.
spent 5 minutes together and then they split up and then they
Right.
had one fight. And
Yeah.
yeah, it didn't ring false here. It actually, you really felt
Yeah.
them change each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree. Uh my husband found the ending. He said he liked this one more than the first one, but he
Oh,
said I wish it ended with them doing witchcrafts together.
Hmm.
That's what he
I love that.
wanted. Yeah.
Listen, I love that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is where we add usually it's like do we root for our protagonists and our characters and our I think we're all
Hmm.
kind of like we're with our leads. We get them.
Totally.
And our antagonists are annoying. Uh
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
every character fulfills the role they're supposed to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like you hate Morrible, you feel complicated feelings towards Glinda, you get Alphaba. You know, Bach is a little more sympathetic in this version, but still annoying. Like Nessa's annoying. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I find
And he
Bach
kind of
sympathetic. I don't.
I think it's Bach is so unsympathetic in the play that it's like
Right.
he's like a
mm,
step up.
Just like a slight step up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying
yeah,
I'm like, oh, Bach, poor Bach.
Yeah.
I felt like Act One Bach more sympathetic. Once he went like psychopath, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, at a certain point, like staying that as long as he did was his choice.
yeah.
Like
And
at the
he gets oddly no resolution. He's just like, I mean, it's not in the show either. He's just
Yeah.
gone,
yeah.
being a
He's
lunatic,
resting
presumably.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's Dorothy didn't even like him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like I've always loved the specific part. I love that we finally resolved the animal plot. I just want to say that because the
Yeah.
musical forgets it, and I think this was a simple way to do it. And the whole like Glinda, I actually want to be good thing is something
Mm,
I has always affected me a lot because I think about a lot that because of like my appearance, people often tell me or assume or just interactions, strangers ask me for directions, like people just always kind of assume I'm good. And so that I always try and use that to be like, I need to act the way people expect me, like because of this unfair amount of like white privilege and like light hair, light eyes, and like
mm,
all these like people project that onto me. And because I'm given unfairly given this advantage that so many other people don't, I should at least try and do good with it or be good when people expect me to be good unearned.
mm,
Like at least earn I'm being given unearned, which
Right.
you can never do with white privilege, really, at the end of the day. Like there's no way to earn that. But it's
Right.
like if people are going to
mm.
assume I'm good to begin with, I should at least try to be good.
I'm gonna try to have character. I'm gonna try to do the right thing when no one is looking, right? That
Yeah.
Mhm,
poster, you know.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do love this. I do love like how they end Glinda's character. Which is why I think Wicked is like the A tier of all the villain biopic reimagining whatevers. Like it
Mm,
just does it so much smarter. And not every story is as equipped as The Wizard of Oz for that kind of metaphor.
Right.
yeah.
Was that your fantasy? Hannah, let's start with you. So it's a two-part question. Do you like the movie? Do you want to live in this world, this story?
Yeah, so I did really like the movie again, even though I had these, I don't want to call them issues or even qualms. It's just like I think I had certain expectations of the movie and they don't fully meet them. It's not necessarily a bad thing, especially knowing like they're following a lot closely to the book of the musical itself, a stage musical. So it's like they did have an opportunity to fix things, but also they're also pulling loyalty as well. So, but ultimately, like I think it was still like really good, and it's a great story, and it talking about it, and being able to talk about it in its complexity is also really, really good. And yeah, I mean, I would live in Glinda being the good for real. I would live in that version of Oz. I think last time I was like, ooh. Oz seems a little spicy right now. I don't know if I want to live there. But yeah,
Hmm,
in the at the end of this movie, I would live in that version of Oz. Yeah.
Yeah. You would live in
yeah.
Reconstruction era Munchkin land,
Yes, exactly.
trying to stop the Confederate equivalents from rolling back things. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
For that little Munchkin
And
girl that
and
Glenda
I am
smiles at the end. It's like, I'm being good for you, little
that's me.
Susie.
That's
Yeah.
me. Yeah. I mean I am probably Munchkin coded. Like that would probably be where I would be living. I feel a connection to those houses and those sets. It's like, oh yeah, that seems cozy. It's because it's kind of like hobbits, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They give Hobbit vibes.
Rob,
Yeah, so
what's your stance?
the film, I overall loved it with drawbacks. I felt like I think also helped by that I had just seen Act Two. I was impressed with the stuff that it did improve on Act Two. I think it could have gone further, but I was very happy with like being able to see Elphaba's activism,
Yeah.
see an actual Fuller Oz. Because one thing is I found the stage show feels so divorced from what's happening in the wider world of Oz that
Yeah.
it just feels like kind of unpopulated. And here you really, seeing the construction of the road and seeing like the terrorist attacks and seeing all of that and seeing being able to have the wedding and it expanded it and made me like feel everything more than the stage that's just kind of zipping quickly through lots of plot points. Even like
Yeah.
bringing Nessa's story out more so it's not all happening in one scene. So
Yeah.
like in a lot of ways that made me happy. Um and yeah, I thought it had moments that were just really transcendent, like No Good Deed, the wedding. But
Yeah.
overall I loved it. Um I would live in probably the end of the film Oz. I love the
Yeah.
aesthetics of this Oz so much. I love Art Deco.
Yes.
I love everything about the look of the film. Um, and I would love to burst into song. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, from that perspective. But when it's all fashy, I probably would wait
Yeah.
till it got
There you
better.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say this was my fantasy and that I did love this movie. I do want to see it again. And I think I'm glad we're kind of on the same page in that like I liked the things they improved from Act Two. I
Mm,
just wanted a little more and I was disappointed because I wanted it to be more, but still like emotionally it
Yeah.
rang true and I
mm,
do like what we got to see more and like it felt like Oz, like the full world.
Yeah.
Um
yeah.
yeah, I think that's a great way. You summed it up perfectly. But I did love the movie. I would want to live in this Oz. Yes, like Glinda, the Glinda administration. I'd want to like maybe be one of her like color coordinated like posse.
Uh-huh. I knew you'd be like, I want to
Mhm.
be in the administration.
Yeah, I'm reintegrating Emerald City.
Yeah.
Yeah, no more redlining
You're
in
you're a
Emerald
staff
City.
person.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Reparations for the Yellow Brick Road, wages for the people who worked on it,
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. There you
Yeah.
college
go.
tuition to shiz. Yeah, we're helping with
Yeah.
that. Tax and Gillikin so people can afford government services. Yeah.
Kamako could be affordable housing.
Yeah.
No one's
There you
Yeah.
using it.
go.
No one's using it.
Yeah.
Fio's family
Ex-
doesn't need it.
Yeah. Literally, he said that. He's like, we don't really need it.
Hmm?
Yeah. So, Rob, thank you so much
Yes.
for coming on.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for having me. I am always happy to talk about anything Oz related, so I was really excited to be invited. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
My
I
brand is like Oz and Muppets, so either thing I will talk
Oh,
great.
perfect.
Yeah, two things I'm sure we will be encountering again on our journey in this
Mm.
podcast.
I'd be very happy to, any other time you'd like me for anything Muppety or Ozzy. I had a great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm glad you had a great time. We did too. Is there anything you want to plug?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I am the copy editorial director of a small queer sci-fi fantasy press in London called Bona Books. And we have a new book coming out, which we still have a Kickstarter going. It's in like you can still donate. It's the campaign's over, but you could still order. It's called Wrath Month. It's sci-fi and fantasy stories of queer rage, and you can check out Bona-books. It's Bona.com. And yeah, we actually have an Oz story in there, written by Michael E. Richardson
Oh, yes.
of Once Upon a VHS.
Yeah. So
Nice.
exciting. We'll definitely have to link that down below so people can check out
Mhm.
your stuff because it's some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So really
Nice.
honored to have you here with us in Oz today.
Oh, thanks so much.
Hannah, where can they find us?
Well, you can find Not My Fantasy on Instagram, and we're still on TikTok, but we're not
Not,
posting.
no,
But if you
yeah.
really want to, you can find us. We're at Not My Fantasy Pod, and then also on YouTube. If you're watching, hi, hello, you can.
Bop that like button with your magic wand, your fake
Yes,
magic wand. Yeah.
yes, and you can hit like, subscribe, and also down in the comments. What do you think of this movie? Do you think it's a good conclusion? Are there other things that you would have wanted to see changed from the stage musical? Those kind of improvements we're talking about. What were your sort of changes that you would want?
Yeah. What were your fairy tale fixes?
Yeah, shout out to Fairy Tale Fix as well.
And yeah, your favorite songs.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think listen, I actually did not talk about No Good Deed enough, but I was
Hmm.
like trying to be, mindful of time, but literal chills. And I
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
listen to it the entire 10-minute drive home from the theater over and over again. So I think I listened to it like 3 times, 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. And
Yeah.
now I can actually go and watch like the Wicked Live thing that they did, like the
Oh, the live
night.
concert.
That
Because
was
I
Yeah.
really
didn't
good.
I
It
didn't
was
watch
great.
that. I didn't watch she did almost called her Alphaba. Cynthia Erivo did a performance with is it Misty Copeland? The ballerina, right? Isn't that her
Yeah, she's
name?
a ballerina.
Yeah. And there's of I think it was No Good Deed. And I was like, well, I want to watch this, but I
But I
can't
want to
because
see
I'm
the
waiting.
movie.
I
Yeah.
want to see it live in the movie. Then I can go back. So now I have to go back and get all of that content. So
I would say
very
watching the live
excited.
special, I was sobbing the entire time.
And
More
that's
than the
and
film. Like nonstop. My
okay.
my partner
Yeah.
was looking at me like I was deranged. I was just like Wizard and I started, and Cynthia's there looking so gorgeous, and I just start bawling.
Yes, The Wizard and
And it
I
was like
gets
that the
me
entire
too.
way through.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't wait. So I will have my box of tissues ready.
And we'll be staying in Oz for our next episode. We'll be talking The Wiz. We're easing on down.
Yeah.
Uh, so thank you so much for listening. And Rob, thank you so much for coming on. Oh yeah, you
Yeah, of
can follow
course.
me on Cullen Ever After on Instagram. Uh, that's all our yes. We're still getting back into the swing of things. Listeners, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, listeners.